Oh, damn, I didn't know you guys were here already. Hey, I opened up the space, but I didn't realize I opened it already. Somehow I'm in two spaces at once. I'm in like my own hosted space and in your space. It's weird.
Hell?
Yeah, there's a whole party of people coming over here right now.
Oh. So I'm in the right place.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be calling Bob Lazar.
Hell yes.
He just called Nellis Air Force Base and the White House.
Did he get through?
Yeah, he got to the switchboard operator or whatever.
Cool.
You want to help me with co-hosting?
Sure.
And Natalie, what are you doing? What's up, MC? You want to help me co-host?
Well, I don't know how long I can stay, and I don't want to disappoint.
All right, that's a yes.
Okay,
right.
I'll do it. I'm in.
Yes.
You talked me into it.
You push those buttons, baby.
And plus, I can't resist the power trip of being able to mute people and kick them off as speakers and kick them out of the room.
I love it, don't you?
Yes.
Hey, Lacey, I sent you something at Logan's in your DM. Just go ahead and check it out.
Oh no, not. Oh, what is it? What is it? What is it?
I don't see anything in
It's
my
not the chode.
DM.
I sacrificed my blue check mark so people would stop calling me official.
I don't have any DMs.
Oh yeah, Lacey lost her check mark too.
What do you mean?
You don't have your check mark, Lacey. You look like you've been stripped naked.
I am naked. Who did that? Oh, speaking of naked. What am I supposed to do with this?
You need to ask Logan that. I don't know.
That was a really interesting choice of sentences, Lacey.
It looks rather nosy.
Tiff, if you would like, I can send it to you.
Is it the
That's
chode?
a yes.
It was like cold that day, so.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for, Tiff.
I regret joining the space. I think I made a huge mistake.
You've made a huge mistake.
Well, it can only get worse from here.
You can't go get out now, man. There's the only way out is through.
Watch out, Dexter's got a hot mic.
You know what's interesting? This space is named after Mr. Rogers. He didn't join.
What you say?
Oh, he probably had to take a break.
Oh, I forgot to invite him.
Yeah, because he's the guest of honor, and if he doesn't show
Oh,
up,
we're gonna roast him.
Are we?
Maybe.
Let's make fun of his sweater. That's the easiest target.
Well, wait a minute. I think he's gonna do something fun. So,
safe space, everybody. Safe space. Come on now.
This is definitely not a safe space. If you think this is a safe space, you came to the wrong space.
yeah, who's that
You're gonna make
whispering?
No.
He's going to make a grand entrance.
It's supposed to be a safe space. Hello, guys.
No, this is Logan's space.
I don't
That
know
just comes
about
with
you.
it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, Dexter. I think there's something you should learn about spaces.
Yes.
Just because we're in them doesn't make them safe spaces, right?
Well, they should be, because we were supposed to respect everybody's,
Oh my goodness, you need to find another safe space.
guys.
No, we were.
Respect, courtesy is not in my vocabulary, Dexter.
I guess not.
I can't hear you.
I
Lacey,
guess
can you hear me, or can you not hear
I
Dexter?
cannot
Or can
hear
you not hear me?
Dexter.
Dexter,
guess
you
I have
sound
to.
like you're in a tunnel.
No, I guess I have to roll with the punches.
To get to what's real.
Yes.
What song is that?
I have to roll with the punches.
Right now, Dexter, we get to throw you on the grenade.
Oh, well, why not?
You're in the
I
right
mean,
place
that's
if you're
fun.
expecting punches.
It's all good.
You
I'll
should have
roll
seen
with
what they did to me, Dexter.
I'll roll with the punches. I'm here for it.
Yay.
Wait till Taylor gets here.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, fuck.
She's not coming in here.
She's not allowed in this space.
Oh, God. Well, goddamn.
Oh, God. What?
You use the choice word.
Oh, big words.
So, what's the discussion? What are we talking about?
I love Bob Lazar.
Disclosure.
Bob
We're doing
Lazar.
our small part. Yeah, we're doing our small part to force disclosure on these ninnies.
On who? Oh.
Ganga in the house.
My mic is on. Okay.
Is this the awkward moment of silence? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear it. It's just awkward.
I'm actually enjoying the awkwardness.
It's only awkward if you make it awkward.
You're right.
For me, it's rather orgasmic.
Where the hell did Screen go, by the way?
I don't know. He's probably working tonight on Uber stuff.
I just sent him an invite and went to Ocean.
Yeah, where is Ocean? I haven't seen her in a
He's over
while.
there in that other space where I was at. I couldn't wait to get out of there. So
I
Which
was
one?
in there, and they were just talking about how to get away with, the easy way out of dating and shit.
I don't even know what they were talking about.
There was some dude giving Indian guy with the dot, not the feather,
Yeah,
giving
Kumar?
a speech on how to pick up women and what we're doing wrong and shit. Yeah,
Oh,
Kumar.
Reptile's
That's what it
friend?
was.
Yeah, Kumar.
Guys, let's be nice.
Oh, that was the nice
What
version,
did we
Dex.
do?
Okay, guy. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Who
This
is
not-
putting those thumbs in the air? What?
You know the new Avatar movie cost over $2 billion.
No, it didn't.
Is it good?
No, it's going to come out this Friday. There's like
Oh, okay.
no chance it's going to make any money. But it's like, I watched I told you, Lacey, that I watched the
Yes.
old one. And it's like I told my son, this is
I
beautiful
love it too.
Neuralink. I told him Neuralink. He said, Dad, it's not Neuralink, Dad. It's not Neuralink. I said, look, I says they connect the hair to the, I said, Dad, it's not Neuralink. I said, it is.
Whatever the hell it's called. Yeah. It's the same thing, isn't it?
It says beautiful. It says, they think, they're connected with the animal and it flies. I says, they don't tell it. It says, they just think it and the animal knows, turn left, right, up, down.
Ocean, are you here?
No, that's not her.
No, Ocean is here.
She's just a listener. She doesn't have a.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Stop it right. You know what, guys? Listen. I cannot listen, y'all are getting me.
Nah, we're
Listen.
just getting stoned, Dexter. It's
Listen.
late.
Yeah, it's time to smoke some weed. Thank you.
But
I'm having
Dexter,
a cigarette. I'm having a cigarette right now.
but Dexter, honestly, you can't
Ew.
always just leave your mic on hot because sometimes you'll get some interference issues.
Oh,
So
sorry.
you gotta. Okay, yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
turn it off.
that's my job.
Hey, SuperFreq, nice to meet you. I didn't realize your name was actually SuperFreq. I thought it was Super F, and I thought, wow, that's a very intriguing name because it's cut
It's
off.
super freak.
Oh, it's
Freaky.
freak.
Super free.
Freaking
Frequency.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but freak is actually spelled Freak.
Yeah, I play with frequencies, so it's just a play on words, MC.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's even smarter. I thought it was like super F dot dot dot, and you just fill in the blank for F, whatever your imagination want it to be. But that actually your real super frequency name is even better. That's brilliant.
Yeah, he's
Thank
working.
you.
He's doing something really beautiful with frequencies. Yeah.
with pregnancies.
Frequency, not pregnancy, lady.
Okay, sorry.
I was over there
But if you want to
having
talk about
the
pregnancy, I'm
tumor and
in.
reptile experience.
That
So
was a
now
heavy,
I'm
heavy
home.
space, wasn't it, Ocean?
Makes you think it's sex.
It's like going out to a party and then this is like returning home to your family after.
What kind of party would you have called that then?
Oh God, shit! Australian Indian shit show. I love it though. That's why I partake, but only for long enough, and then I'm done.
Yeah, it's like junk food, you know?
Oh, yeah, they covered the junk food.
I do appreciate Reptile though. He can be a pretty cool dude.
Oh, yeah, and he's brilliant in places, you know.
I do kind of hear some kind of like static, kind of charge in the background. Somebody's like, is it water or static? Like in the
No, it's
background.
Lacey and her
Yeah,
hot mic.
yeah.
Gosh, oh my! It's always smoking.
Well, I was kind of thinking almost you, buddy. Like you kind of are you turning on your plasma machine or something going on? Or it's like something's like tweaking back there.
No, did I tell you the final tally on the Dollar General all the way to around my block? I had to buy lights. Did I tell you the final tally on what they're trying to hit me with?
No.
16 lights in total with fixtures, almost $40,000. Yeah. I
What
said
have
there ain't
you
no
done?
fucking way. Oh, I
What did
blacked
you
out
do?
the street lamp. I blacked out the street lamps whenever I was messing with that plasma generator out there, and it echoed my shop. That's when it evaporated that. Remember me telling you guys when I evaporated the top of the shop?
Yes.
That was it. And I was in a space with you guys the next day, and I get a rap on the door. It's the damn electric company.
I thought it was the Illuminati.
Oh, man.
Same thing. All they want your money and your soul.
That's why time was invented. That way the taxman knew when to come collect.
Is the soul part of the loose juice?
Oh, Ocean, I just sent you a present in your DM. We've been passing it around.
Plans also.
A little something, something.
Yeah, you can thank
it's a little bitty something.
Little SuperFreq up here.
You got more than one set of drawings, right, buddy?
Can I ask you a dumb question, SuperFreq, that I don't know anything about science or what you're trying to do, especially?
There are no dumb questions, Tiff.
Okay, well, if you had your plasma gun and those tuning forks that you're talking about, if you shot the plasma laser like through the middle of like two going tuning forks, would anything happen?
Yeah, I've actually done it. It just starts vibrating like a monk and, makes a high pitched sound. Even with earplugs on, it's a different kind of sound. It's like a piercing. So the plasma is really loud anyway. So if you don't have your ground sanded down in between each run, the electrode will start jumping. I'll make a video. I'll make a video tomorrow if you want. If you guys are
Yes.
actually interested in it,
So
I'll
totally.
go and do a video.
Hey, I'm meaning to ask you that. But I'm so glad you brought it up. Thank you. You please do that on YouTube, or where are you gonna post it on here?
I'm low tech redneck, Logan. I'll post it on here. You guys do with it what you want.
But you
Because
can only
I will
post
tell
up to
you
like
this.
2 minutes.
I will tell you this. Last video I tried to do with the plasma going, the screen was making a crackle and shook so fast it distorted the image. So, but you can at least hear the audio and see what it is before I fire it up. That way you can get a proper idea.
I was talking to my son about this today, buddy. I think you should protect yourself with some glass, though.
Yeah, a bunch of people told me that, Randy, and we're too late now. I'm already in it. So just carrying on.
In it to win it.
I did get a new welding hood, auto darkening welding hood, because I was having a problem with my old one. It was just a lens, So I had to upgrade that. Now we're good to go.
SuperFreq, I have a question. What is that image, your background photo? Is that the blueprint for the underground bases where they're keeping the reverse engineered technology?
That's absolutely correct. Underneath
Which one?
Area 51.
Which base? Oh, is it?
Dulce base. Yeah.
By the way, I was just joking. You're serious.
100%.
Wow,
About
that was
what?
a great guess.
It's just a tasty little nugget I leave out there.
What did you ask him, MC?
I asked him what that picture of the blueprint is in his background photo, and apparently it's the schematics for the Area 51 base, believe it or not.
Oh, right. Okay.
SuperFreq, where did you get that? Or where did you steal it, I should say?
Can't reveal my source.
Of course, I apologize. I shouldn't have gone that far. By the way, do you guys like the name of the space? I changed it.
Don't
But
get carried
maybe I
away
should change it to
now.
SuperFreq is here.
Also, that blueprint is not a blueprint, right? Isn't that just a drawing of the outside of the base?
Yeah, it is. It is the blueprint for the underground zone and the landing and takeoff pattern.
SuperFreq, are you sure you didn't just pull that from Google Maps?
A buddy of mine sent it to me, and I put it up there. I have no clue where he got it. He sent me some cool shit, though, so I just threw it in the mix. You're actually the first person that ever asked me.
I know, it's amazing. I can't believe people missed it, but I'm going to save it to my phone. If you delete it, I have a record of it for the future.
Yeah, it ain't going nowhere unless they kick my account again.
Really? You've been targeted?
You can't get it from Google Maps.
Earthquake.
I wanted to say, Jamie, earlier I was in your space, and then every time I joined, I couldn't hear you. Like the host wasn't working, so that's what happened when I dipped out. And then I was in Jules's space earlier too, but then I came to hang out with you, and then that stopped working, and then I ended up in the wildlands.
It was.
Oh, glad you made it back, because sometimes some of these rooms get a little bit out of. They're like, whoa, and then right back out. Exactly, just like that.
It was weird how it was glitching though, like how I couldn't rejoin and hear you properly. So happy this one's working okay.
Me too. Yeah, it's always nice when it's not glitchy. Just wait, probably.
Sorry, I was just playing with the soundboard. My bad.
I think the tunnel is just.
And
I think I'm not
hell?
sure if the tunnel's done yet or not from 51 to 52. That I think it's completed.
You know, that's the only print I've ever received on it. I couldn't even tell you if it's accurate or not. I
Oh
just know
yeah,
it's the only one I've ever had in front of me, and it's the only one that I could see on the
I believe
overlay.
I believe the tunnel between Area 51 and 52 is already completed. The second tunnel.
All right. Underground bases. Good job.
The base under I guess it's cool to
Yeah,
say this because I know this guy anyways he told me about the what do you call it? Like I guess it's basically like a city that's underneath Area 51. Said he would not believe how big it is underneath the ground. It's like, whoa.
That is true. I have heard.
SuperFreq, because you shared that with everybody, I awarded your name to the top of this space. You are now officially at the top. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
it's just like NSA is so huge. What is underground? It's just their computer system is massive.
I'd love it if they could just open it up to the public one day where we can see like the gravity of the situation that we knew nothing about. I would love that. Since we bought it, actually,
About
it's ours.
250 acres. About 250 acres it covers.
Can I just say something?
No, Dexter, you have to raise your hand first.
Oh,
You got to jump on the hand grenade.
And hop on one foot.
Okay, now you can talk.
I don't think I I I I truly don't think, even if right now, I highly doubt there's anything in Area 51. It's been used for what it's been used for. I I highly doubt there will be anything for anybody to see there. You won't see anything. I mean, yeah, it's conspiracy theorist, and we would like to know the hype. I, I guarantee you won't even find remnants of
You
what they've been doing in
guarantee
there.
it.
Huh?
You guarantee it?
It, it's when I say guarantee, it's more like exclamation. Yeah, you won't. There's nothing there. You're not going to find. It's
Is
government
it
operation.
intuition?
You're not going to find anything there. There's nothing there for nobody.
Okay,
That,
so it's abandoned then.
Abandoned. You won't find no traces of anything there. You're look. Listen, I'm in Toronto, Ontario. You're not going to find anything there. There's nothing. You're not going to find anything there.
Dexter, I agree with you on that point. Toronto is a complete wasteland. You will find nothing there. However, in
Oh,
Area 51, you will find dead alien bodies. I can tell you that. So you're right. I guarantee you there's nothing there except dead alien bodies.
oh, there's nothing there. They won't leave that there. Come on now. Let's be honest. Oh, you know what? Okay then. Fine.
They'd probably leave it there because, they'd be like, everybody else thinks we moved it. So why not leave it the last place they'd look?
You really think so? Yes, I'm into. Oh,
They're not going
Toronto,
to abandon that
Toronto,
place.
Ontario. Do you think? Listen, that's the thing. I'm not here to. I don't want to. But let's. You have to look at it from a critical. Uh, 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 you need to have
Underground nightclub.
no.
How do you
Oh,
think we
see,
get
this is it.
tickets
This
Right.
is it.
to Area 51? The
You're not.
museum of Area 51.
Oh, we have skeptics. We've got skeptics here. Okay, but listen, you're not going to find anything there.
I'm sorry if I have to hear that line one more
I
time. I'm just
started
going to
to
lose my
say
mind.
we've heard that several times already.
Thank you, Logan.
There's got to be like a Smithsonian museum ticket they can get on, like StubHub.com. Area 51 tour.
You don't need a ticket. It's free, baby.
So if we go there,
I've been there a couple times.
then we would be there, so there wouldn't be nothing there anymore. So, just saying.
Ooh. We can go underneath the pyramids too, and you don't have to have a ticket for that either. It's free.
HCT, there's nothing there. There's nothing underneath the pyramids. Let me repeat again. There is nothing there.
Hey, Dexter, is there anything there?
No, there's nothing there. By the way, I think Dexter took a break from the space. I think we overwhelmed Dexter.
I'm going to be doing Among Us for a couple rounds with my kiddo before bed, but I'm going to listen. So just boot me down to listener.
Yep, I can make another.
I can make it. I can do it.
Ooh, what kind
Oh,
of
hey, Ocean, I want to boot you. I enjoy booting people. Oh, there we go. Someone else booted you.
I enjoy it more.
That's right. Logan's the king of booting. Be careful, folks. Don't repeat too much. Pay your respects. Bow before him, and you can stay.
No rules in this space. There's no rules in here, MC. There's none. Besides worship at my feet.
Thank you for hosting this space.
SuperFreq, what nice things do you have to say about Logan?
Speaking to Kyle boys.
SuperFreq, your time is running out. Hurry before he boots you.
What is that a boot?
What is it a boot?
I spoke French Canadian. Before he boots you.
And just we have a thing of a movie, and they, and they're like, oh, what is that about, and what is this about, and it's just a funny way, like when I ask for a soda, I'm like, ooh, Minnesota. It's like silly thing we'd say, colloquialisms. It's hard to say right now. I need to smoke more weed.
Hey, you guys are much nicer than the other chat. I started to ask them about doing your yearly astrological reading, how they predict some things that might happen in the year on your birthday, or it's based on your birthday, and then you can navigate those things. Have anyone done anything like that?
Major, could you do me? Could you, if I tell you I'm a Capricorn, could you tell me?
No, it's much more detailed than that. You have to know your time of birth. And I was born in Europe, and the dudes way back then did not kept the time. You have to know the time of your birth. And I'm so pissed. I'm going to hire a special person to figure that out based on the crazy things that happen on my life. But suppose
12:03 a.m. If I tell you my birth is 12:03 a.m., I'm a Capricorn. Go for it.
No, I can't. I'm not one of those astrologist people. No, I'm not one of those. My friend recommended it to me because this one time he said you're going to have issues with your property or your house, and he's like he kept an eye on it.
Is that a threat?
So like she tells you, or they tell you like some major things, and you just keep an eye on it. And then lo and behold, his neighbor tried to like get extra acreage out of his, huge farm that you would never notice. But because he knew about it, he sued the guy and he won like thousands of dollars. So I'm like, whoa, it's like a little roadmap of what might happen in your life this year. Has anyone done that? I'm so psyched to do
I
it.
have done an astrology thing where they do your place of birth and your time of birth. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead and join me. There's this app I've been promoting, like I swear, for like months, but no one's joining me besides one person. It's called CoStar, COSTAR, and you put in like your date, like your time of birth, and all that, and it's like really good. I think
It's your social security number, your first of kin.
Where is that app located? In the App Store?
That's correct.
Not to be confused with, what is it, World Star, where there's a bunch of videos of people beating the shit out of each other in clubs?
I guess so. I've never. Is that an app? Check out this World Star. I haven't heard of it.
World Star! And then they
MC?
bust up shit.
Hey, MC?
Yeah, it's usually like.
Yes.
I know you wanted
This
to say this, but
awkward
it's like
thing I want
fights.
to mention to you is kind of awkward. You haven't followed me back, so I can't send you emojis. I know it's an accidental thing, so just follow me back. Can you please?
You know, I did follow you, but for some reason, Twitter unfollowed you. Have you ever had that happen? That's
yeah. I know it's weird.
Oh yeah.
Just let you know, bro.
Thanks for letting me know. That's embarrassing because you were like one of the first
know.
people I followed.
Yeah,
and,
I know.
And now,
That's why I was letting you know. It's weird.
Who was the first person?
Oh no, sorry. Logan, I think, was the first person, and you were close. Actually, I as soon as I pressed the follow button on Logan, I pressed yours too.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at your picture.
It's all good. That's why that's why I felt awkward bringing it up.
By the way, Daniel is joining us as a speaker, and he interviewed Travis Walton, the Travis Walton from Fire in the Sky, and Daniel just updated his picture to something really, really cool. How's it going, Daniel?
I don't even see him in here.
Hey, Logan, can you send me a picture of the app icon?
Oh, okay. And oh, Daniel. Oh, dude, isn't that picture that I told you about the like a month ago? Remember I said I found your picture like online, and you were standing with Jack Valet?
Daniel's
can you hear me?
blocking his picture. There you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, it just cut back in something about picture Valet. I heard only like half of what you said, Logan.
Oh no, I was saying, is that your profile picture there? Isn't that the one that I told you I found a picture online like a month ago? I just came across like your picture randomly. I think you were standing with Jack Valet, and I was like, you look like you're wearing something from like the future or something. I think that was that same outfit, maybe.
Oh, might have been different. I think the only times I've been around Jack have probably been in something a little bit more normal. But yeah, I was out near Area 51 just scouting the place out, and I figured, we should all meet up and just
break in
on the place, free them aliens. They can't stop us all.
No, they can't. No, they cannot.
I mean, we've got like what, about 24 of us in here. Surely that's enough.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Right
Daniel, did you say let's meet up at Area 51?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. What happened to that group that went to Area 51? Was it in 2020?
We stormed it.
2019.
Oh my God. Can you guys send me a video about it? I'm so proud of you. I wish I was into, the paranormal way back when. But 2020, they magically hit me on the head and made me like get out of my body without my permission. So I'm learning.
If they had asked you politely, would you have done it?
I would have.
So I was there in 2019, and then maybe not even a month later, this event page comes up online, and it gets 100,000 people on there, which soon became 1 million, and then became like multiple millions of people interacting with this event page. And I thought that even half of a percent of any number of those people who actually went would actually be pretty overwhelming, because it's in the middle of nowhere. It's near Rachel, Nevada, or at least the part where they were going to try to meet up, because you can't actually get to the base. I mean, you could try to like run past the gate. You could try.
Daniel, I believe you would get shot if you run past the gate, right?
Twice in my life, I've met people who went to January 6th, and they went past the gate. They ran past the gate.
What happened? Did you
They
get
were
arrested?
let in.
Yeah, they're like, don't take pictures. Don't take a picture. If you take pictures anyway, of course. But I don't know. I got this weird message for you, Daniel.
Daniel wants to meet up at Area 51 and storm the base. We have to be ready for him and his friends. They will not know what hit them. It will be a bloodbath.
Yeah, that sounds pretty eerie to me, man.
It's pretty cryptic.
Hey, who asked me if they asked politely and if I would have agreed? The answer is 90% probably not.
Really? If you could have an out of body experience voluntarily, you would say no?
I can do that every night. I have extreme vivid dreams I'm trying to get rid of.
I think I might hit a button. Sorry. It's kind of glitching on me. I
Yeah,
think
that
it's
was
good now.
Logan. I wasn't trying because I didn't like your answer. I didn't mute it.
Whoops.
Going.
So I could do it really easily if any of you guys want to join me, because I'm kind of scared of going at it alone. I know I can do it. I have this gift, but I'm scared actually.
Fascinating. I think Randy would like to chime in on that. Is that right, Randy? You have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted, when I was there, military guys came down with a white Dodge pickup and they charged and was like, what the fuck are you doing here? And they weren't too happy about me coming to the gate, and um, they could have shot me.
You drove from Area 51, from Ohio to Area 51?
No, I lived in California. I lived in California for 61 years. I farmed in California for 29 years. I just moved to Ohio 2 years ago, and I went to Area 51. Yes,
By the way,
I've
that's a
been
good
to.
move. You save a lot on taxes.
Yeah, well, home prices vary. I sold a $780,000 home in California, moved to Ohio, and bought a $280,000 home. So, but yeah, I went to Area 51, and they weren't very happy. Yeah, they could have shot me. They told me, and sheriffs will arrest you.
Well, we're glad they didn't shoot you. Daniel has his hand up as well.
Yeah, I went up to the gate, front and back gates, and saw a few white trucks. I saw one of the camo dudes jump out and run into one of the buildings. I thought it was over for me at that point, but no. I mean, I guess they have something where they're not supposed to be captured on film or camera or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's the same with any military base. If you go trespass on any military base, this isn't just Area 51. They are authorized to use deadly force. So people just know about this one, and they just call it Area 51, but that's not the real name of this military installation.
What's the real name? Logan accidentally muted everyone again.
Sorry, glitching. Sorry, my bad.
That's okay.
I was told.
Go ahead, Daniel.
By actually, Doty told me from when he worked there. He said it was called Edwards Air Force Base Detachment 3.
Oh, wow. So is there any connection between Edwards Air Force Base in California?
Probably just coincidence.
It's near Nellis, so.
Go ahead, Screen.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's kind of like standard operation for a base. Like I live like right next to one. Like I grew up around it. We play basketball on base, and like sometimes when we're fishing, we'll get too close to the base. But like if you don't have your IDs and stuff when you're playing ball, like they'll pull out on you and stuff. They check who you are. If you're getting too close when you go fishing, they like roll up on you, and the gun with this is like like an M16 on the front, basically. Like it's mounted, like they're sitting there, like it's like legit shit. And that's just a nuclear training base, that's just normal operation.
True that.
I don't know if that's true. I got another call, and they were like saying some stuff.
Green doesn't know anything. He grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He doesn't know anything about bases.
Yeah, I mean, they said it.
Couldn't hear it.
Yeah, me neither, actually.
Who is that one for?
That was for Screen.
I was
Not
pretending
you,
it didn't
Daniel.
happen. Let's just get past it. So anyway,
Couldn't hear it over the mortars firing.
By the way, everyone, Daniel is like a special guest who just shows up and acts regular on a space. Like, you know how you have Richard Doty and everyone spends the entire time asking Richard Doty questions. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe Richard Doty joined the space. Or when Elon Musk joins the space. Daniel is on that level, but he's so humble that he doesn't make a big deal out of it. And no one gives him the respect he deserves.
Are you saying we don't?
Wait,
No,
I'm
not
about
you,
to say,
Lazy.
what are you saying
Everyone else.
exactly?
How dare you, Lacey?
The fight is on.
Very kind, MC. I don't look at it that way, but it's just great to be able to jump in the space and see what you guys are up to.
By the way, Daniel, I just want to let you know I completely believe Travis Walton. I'm 100% on board because at the end of the interview with Joe Rogan, he said he saw a black triangle in California on his way back to Arizona when he attended a conference back in 1993. And I can tell you, many people between February and March of 1993 saw black triangles near Lake Arrowhead at that time. So I
There's a
want to
lot
let you know.
flying over. They called it the flying Dorito.
Yes, except it was black and it made no sound.
That's what it's.
Yeah,
Tier
Logan,
3B Manson, maybe?
Oh, go ahead.
You said Victor?
That might have been the picture when I was with Travis a while back. I had this get up on that you see in this picture I'm in. One with Valet was like more of a formal attire, but I do have one with Travis where I'm in the this outfit.
I can't believe Richard Doty would be compared to someone like Daniel. He is disgusting. Deserves zero respect.
But you're right. Daniel knows so much, and just last week I put a post. The History Channel highlighted about the Aurora, and I Daniel because it was like, all right, they talked about the grave site and everything. It's like, yes, they're bringing light, and Daniel brings light to about that site, and doesn't let that area die. So that community is like it's beautiful. They talk about that, and they show the memorial site where they have to keep that area so visitors come visit it. So that's nice. So that's Daniel puts a lot of effort into that. So I want to make sure that he got some light shined on him for that.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
by the way,
Randy.
Daniel wipes his butt.
Yeah.
Back to front. He has a yeast infection at least every other week.
It's tough.
Daniel, I'd like to apologize on behalf of this entire space. That never happened. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. By the way, Dexter wants to come up as a speaker. Dexter, I want to let you know that we have a special guest, Daniel, and unfortunately, you cannot come as long as Daniel is here because you keep repeating that there's nothing at Area 51. I don't want to offend Daniel. So please
Actually,
be patient.
No, feel free to bring him up. I was actually piqued my interest when he was saying that. One of the reasons I came up, but also thanks for that message, Logan. It's good to know someone's looking out. It's always up in the air type of thing, By the way, thanks, Randy. You tipped me off on that Unexplained, that show, The Unexplained. That's probably one of the latest renditions of how that story's been portrayed in the media. So that's being included in the history publication I'm working on. So shout out for Randy for that.
What's that, Daniel?
And Daniel, we love you, don't you? and respect you.
Well, I love you guys. You know, it's feelings mutual.
Hi,
I
Daniel.
added his
You
name to the title of the
cannot
space.
dare speak ill of Area 51.
Daniel. Daniel.
I got an idea for you guys.
Daniel. Is that you?
Yeah.
You cannot dare speak ill of Area 51.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Speak
I will
ill-
not speak ill of Area 51.
You know what's a good idea? If you guys ever go to Area 51, instead of being like setting yourself up to be shot at, right? What you can all do is like get like, like I don't know how many people would be down to do like 7 people. And if you all get like 5 to 10 drones each and just fly them over the gate, then they'll shoot at the drones instead of shooting at your ass. Good idea, right?
Oh,
They'll just have to shoot at all the drones, right?
Manny, I think that would be a negative because they would be able to locate where you are based on the proximity of the drones, and therefore likely they would target you and eliminate you.
But wouldn't you have a head start to get away if you're not like right up on it?
Are you suggesting long-range drones?
Yeah.
I think Daniel is qualified to answer that. Daniel, please proceed.
I'll just mention it's laid out very clearly right up on the gate that this is a no drone zone, and it's I think pretty clear. Like anyone who approaches the gate is being heavily monitored. Plus, it's still several miles away from any actual facilities.
Remember that dude that got
Okay.
arrested on the weekend? Like he was like just stormed in by like a bunch of FBI and stuff because he had that website, right? That fucking guy was like stealing like little those they put like things in the sand to like monitor activity and shit. And he was just stealing them out of the ground. No wonder they fucking raided his house.
Daniel, what?
Wait a minute.
Based
Now I
on
think
Logan's
about it.
question, sorry, Manny, just one question for Daniel. He's a special guest. He's in the title of the space. Logan just mentioned the gentleman was arrested for gathering information on Area 51, and he's in the custody of the FBI, I believe. I don't know if he has legal counsel or he has bail, if that's an option. Do you have any comments on that?
George Knapp has been following up with that story for a while. I'd recommend just check out some of the reports that he's done on it. He's tried to share about what's happening. He's usually a pretty good hub of information regarding Area 51, and that's kind of one of the latest things that's happened. So it's too bad for that guy. I think it got raided, swatted, but
how reliable is he, George Knapp?
I mean, a news station thinks so. Las
That's
Vegas.
not saying much.
Not at all. Not saying much at all.
I knew that was coming. I deserve that. I deserve that. Totally deserve that.
I want people to know that Area 51's got countermeasure things in place for drones. They've got that covered, people. Don't worry about that.
Just what makes me like kind of irritated at Knapp right now is I saw a video of him the other day, laughing at D Dean. You know that dude D Dean Johnson or whatever on Twitter. He was just like popping up questions to George, and George was like responding, and he like was just kind of like teasing him. Instead of answering the question, he was just like, "You're just like a stalker, man." And it's just answer the question, man. Like we're all trying to like figure out the same thing, right? Like why do you got to be like that?
Well, I think
just come forth.
George is he's like a veteran journalist. I think that you can look at the material he's covered and reported on. You can look at maybe the ways in which he covers information, but I don't think he's like convoluting information for the sake of like generating sensational stories or anything like that. He's just reporting whatever he can cover.
That's the thing, though. He said in the 90s that he had to back away from the the whole Lazar thing, because he went from reporting on the story to actually becoming an advocate for it. So that's he found himself kind of slipping there. The thing that was kind of like funny was the whole Element 115 thing. So there's this video of him saying that like Bob Lazar, he doesn't have it. He never had it. It was just a joke. Like, how could you believe it? Like, don't be dumb, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, really? Thanks for that. But I guess it could have lied.
Manny, you can speak now.
Well, my first question was kind of stupid, so I'll skip over that one. But someone said that Daniel's a special guest.
That was me.
I don't think I've seen Daniel in the space. Can you just tell me, like, just briefly who you are, since you're a special guest?
Daniel is the best guy. Like I said just the other day, like he's the smartest guy I know in ufology. Easy.
Oh, cool. I'll follow Daniel.
Sorry, I didn't hear like the last 10 seconds or so.
Oh, I was just kissing your ass a little bit. So I was saying, you're like the smartest guy in ufology that I know.
Also, there is a documentary that I posted in the nest above our heads that he is in. There's above our heads. And
oh wow, I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, look.
He's quite educated about Bigfoots and music.
I just, I'm interested, just like all of us here. I study up on what I can when I can. My main profession, I'm a musician. I'm a music instructor, and I think that for anyone who's invested any little amount of time into any of these topics, you find out that there are a lot of tangents, there are a lot of rabbit holes, and you can just go down, and it can be fun, but it's also frustrating sometimes. But you see people come and go. I've invested my time and resources into just doing what I can to make at least a minimal contribution into this, what I think is a meaningful work. I think that's what brings us all together. So, I'm just glad to be here with all of you guys.
I have to just quickly add, Alexander, I know you wanted to come up and speak. I tried to add you, but there was a technical issue. So please request again or exit the room and come back and we'll let you up. And please compliment Daniel as soon as you become a speaker, because that's a prerequisite for tonight.
If that ever happens again, MC, you're fired.
Oh my God, I better be careful. I swear it was a technical issue. Elon still hasn't worked out all the bugs. He's just fired.
You're fired.
Say again?
It happens, what you can do.
Yeah. So, Daniel, who's the favorite guest that you've ever interviewed? Travis Walton, perhaps?
Travis is cool, but I would say
100%.
Wait, Alexander, Daniel speaking, please. No, it's all good. I'll just say, there's a ton of people. out of the videos and sit down discussions I've had with people, at least like on camera, that's one thing. There are a lot just in passing in casual situations that I never thought or took the time to try to turn into like, an interview video or something. I always think of my good friend Jim Mars. I miss him a lot. He's who kind of got me involved with a lot of this in a real serious way. Other than that, I really like hearing from different people. The UFO topic's interesting, but I'm into a lot of other stuff, anthropology, archaeology. Those are big focuses of mine. So I was fortunate to have met Graham Hancock and his wife, and I kind of drove them around for a bit in New Mexico. And he was gracious enough to lend me a few minutes of his time to do a quick little clip. But I really like now seeing that, he's become pretty mainstream just because of the new show and everything. But for a long time, he's been a big contender with, mainstream archaeology and all this. So I don't necessarily say that everything he says is true or any of that. It's mainly just contending the narrative. And I think that's important for us to realize is that, progress is made not just through, agreeing to what we're told that we don't really have any way of knowing other than, but just to find out what else we can ask about history, about reality. And I think he does a great job of that. But there's a number of people. I don't want to put anyone on a pedestal. I do miss my buddy Jim, though.
That's fascinating. Archaeology, music, UFOs, you've covered the gamut. Kudos to you. By the way, Alexander,
I want to hear more Jim Mars stuff, by the way. We got to hear more Jim Mars when you can do it. I want to hear that.
Daniel, what kind of music are you into?
So I'm a drummer, and I started in school and band, as a formal musician, doing all of that. I continued on. So my main instrument is drum set, but I do all percussion, hand drums. I compose music as well. So I like everything. I like scores, soundtracks, thematic things, but stage band stuff is cool too. I mean, I've played in a lot of jazz bands, like big band ensembles, but I'm a metalhead, so I mean, I like really heavy stuff. I've played in death metal bands, but I like fusion, prog. I like anything that's musically inspiring or challenging. So different timings, stuff like that. For as a drummer, it's fun and it's creative. So I like stuff like that all over.
Nice. I was about to ask you, are you into blast beats? I love blast beats. I go to a lot of metal concerts. I love that.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I like all of it, but it's fun for a drummer when there's a lot of energy, So playing like the heavy stuff can be a lot of people. It's a turn off because it's just like noise or something. But all the movements when you're playing, it's exhilarating. It's very energetic. So I like it.
A point of order, Alexander. I don't know what happened. You became a speaker, and then you were. I promise I didn't boot you because you spoke over Daniel. I don't know what happened. So please request to speak again. We'll bring you right up.
You shamed him. He was trying to speak, and you were just like, "Nope, we're going to listen to Daniel." He was like, "What? You invited me to speak, and then just ignored me?" It's like, I'm getting out of here, bro. I'm sure that's what happened. I'm sorry, man. Shit happens. Sorry, Alexander.
Oh, here he is. He's back. Alexander, any comments? First, you have to say something nice about Daniel. Go for it.
Please do. And nothing negative against Area 51.
Other guy left. You don't have to.
So the funny thing is, I wasn't really trying to become a speaker in the beginning, but and then it glitched out and I couldn't hear Daniel speaking. I'm very sorry. You always enjoy your conversations that you bring to the table, man, and I'm glad to hear that you're a musician. That's fucking awesome. There's something about playing with other people. Like I've always made music by myself, and it's one challenging, and like you're playing in a band, and like I can see.
Shows Alexander still as a listener and raise hands up as I see it.
Randy had a hot mic.
Good.
Alexander, you're the next guest behind Daniel. Please proceed.
Yeah. Have you seen Daniel's hair? I mean, look at his hair. You know what I mean? He's a rock star, bro.
My hair?
I forget about that sometimes.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say my one weak spot, my balding head. But great conversation, guys. I'll let you continue.
Logan simultaneously complimented Daniel and insulted Alexander at the same time. He's a genius.
Well, thanks, Alexander. I appreciate that. I just enjoy everyone's contribution to the discussion.
I like turtles.
I had a turtle when I was growing up.
Oh yeah, what kind was it?
It was green. It had like this.
I think you cut out, or was that me? Probably me.
That was you.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, did she cut out for anybody else?
Yeah. It was.
You cut out, like your audio cut out.
It was green, and it had like this red stripe up its head, from its neck, up to its face and around the other side and everything. I don't know what it was called. I was a little kid when I had it. My aunt gave it to us. So.
But be careful because they have long lives.
Yeah, they'll come for you.
The babysitter killed it by moving the heat lamp way too close, and yeah.
Turtle soup.
Buried it.
Turtle soup.
Oh my god! It
No,
died of like heat.
Yeah, in Alaska. Oh. Fucking ironic.
That's the worst way to go.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, cursed. Sorry.
Ray has her hand up. Maybe she wants a turtle.
Yeah, what's up? I have a question for Daniel. What is your favorite movie score or soundtrack? And also, who's your favorite metal band?
Oh man, those are great. Wow. I think it's easy for a lot of people to say John Williams, and I think that he's kind of like a pillar in the scoring world. When so a score is a soundtrack for like a movie or series of movies, right? Um, I grew up watching and listening to Star Wars, so I think that's up there. But that's just because it's so iconic. I think that there are a lot of really interesting soundtracks. I was really impressed by, um, I guess, a few different things. I think Howard Shore's masterful suite for the Lord of the Rings series was wonderful. I think that's pretty incredible. Big fan of the material used in like the Matrix movies. It's kind of cinematic, pretty good stuff. I mean, there's so many I like a lot. As far as metal, oh man, there's kind of I guess a gradient of different things. Some of it's like really heavy and indiscernible for most people, and then some of it's like pretty clean. I'm a big fan of Meshuggah. Meshuggah's really heavy, and it's kind of hard to hear what they're saying sometimes if you're listening to the lyrics, the vocals. But Meshuggah's great. I like a lot of different groups though. The Faceless was someone that I listened to a while back. Between the Buried in Me. These are some of them are like really obscure bands, but not really like radio friendly. I love to play along to some of these groups though. That's one of the things I find interesting is it's like listening to music is one thing that's a really great way to like enjoy and appreciate something, and then also being able to play along to the things you enjoy makes it kind of another experience altogether. So I like that. But I love everything. I've played swing jazz to Latin. I've studied with drummers from Senegal and West Africa. I love world music. That was a big focus of mine, and so I like to incorporate it all. But the heavy stuff is fun, just because it's a lot of movements, a lot of energy. But yeah, Meshuggah's up there. I don't know. Just a ton of them.
Oh my god. Is that Lemon God?
Play Bleed.
You know, I could have seen Meshuggah live, but I waited too late to get my tickets and they sold out. I was pissed.
Damn.
They came to Worcester, Massachusetts, and I just waited too long. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me.
Damn. That double bass? Oh.
I'm not meaning to do that.
That's what I'm talking about.
I
I
have a
never thought I'd be in a
follow-up for
space
Daniel.
with this happening, so it's pretty funny.
Hey, Daniel, do you like Kill Switch Engage?
Yeah, they're pretty good. I didn't really listen to them a whole lot early on, but after just being recommended and kind of hearing in playlists, I caught on to them. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm debating. They're going to come on the same date in Massachusetts as George Clinton, and I'm debating which concert do I want to go to.
Oh man, Funkadelic, right? You got to get with them.
Yeah, it's like you got to see George Clinton. They just happen to be coming on the same date. It's like, okay, which one do I go to?
Well, I think he's getting up there, and when I haven't seen him, but I know some people who've been close with his family because his whole band is like his family. So when he's up there, he's sitting down. He's just taking it really easy because he's he's not really very young and spry anymore. So he's just I'm surprised he's even on tour still. So that's awesome. I mean, Killswitch's great, but I would say try to see if you can make up that one.
Yeah, George, it is.
I have a follow-up question for Daniel.
Please proceed.
Awesome. Since you mentioned that like some of the bands you like are pretty obscure, these are not metal bands. Have you ever heard of the bands Bright Eyes or Manchester Orchestra?
Manchester sounds familiar. Bright Eyes, maybe. If I heard them, I might know. Kind of depends, but I mean, I listen to a lot of different things. It just it kind of depends, like my personal musical taste, and then also because of a lot of my students and their own tastes, they want to learn stuff, and I find out new music like that way too, which is pretty cool. But Bright Eyes and Manchester Orchestra, those were it.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, how would you describe? You said they're not really metal. How would you say they sound, or what they sound like?
So Manchester Orchestra is, I guess, more rock, but not so much. I like kind of emo, but really beautiful music, like musical composition, and the lead singer's voice is just out of this world. And there's also a lot of really sick, like drums going on, and like a lot of build up, and then it's just really a ride. Like the songs and albums, I feel like are like journeys. And then Bright Eyes is more. They've been a lot of things. They've been around for a long, long time. Started out like doing like garage and basement shit, like when he was 14. But since then, has like gone through emo to folk, and then had kind of an alternative stage, and has collaborated with a lot of people. I don't know. And the reason I'm really interested in the band Bright Eyes, or talk about them in this community, is because several of their albums have been centered around like phenomena and ancient civilizations and spirituality, and a lot of things that we talk about here in Spaces and on Twitter. So it's just some cool stuff to check out if anybody's interested.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll definitely look back into it. Both of those sound familiar. I don't know if I've maybe heard them lately, but I do think it's always interesting when the theme of like musical material does involve any of these different topics, whether it's something otherworldly or something mystical. So there's a lot like that out there. And I do think that a lot of people, even big artists, try to incorporate a little bit of that here and there. And I mentioned that one of the metal bands earlier, the Faceless. They have a whole album called Planetary Duality, and a lot of that is basically about the like humanity's ancestors and the planet being seeded, and all of this stuff, and just different ideas of entity interaction. And so, I mean, obviously, it's like really heavy metal stuff, but that seems to be a common theme in a lot of these different bands. And so I think that there's something that's interesting to see, that a lot of people who are like tangentially involved with this community aren't always like outspoken in the sense of like social interactions like this, but they create something tangible like music and or art or anything like that, or it comes out in other forms of creativity. And I always think that's really cool, the artistic side of this. And obviously not everyone has that sort of creative spark to express, or maybe they don't feel like they have something. But I do think it's important to see like these areas are valued all across the spectrum of art, of social interaction, media. And I think that's brilliant.
Jamie, I see you have your hand up, but you can only speak if you have a question for Daniel.
Yes, yes, it was of course a question for Daniel. Thank you. I was just thinking, like, have you ever played along with Andel's Herrick, because I was wondering like what he's been doing, and I just looked, and he's been sick, so that was kind of a bummer. But from Chimera.
Chimera, yeah, cool band. I probably haven't played so much with their material, but that's another one to add to the list. So yeah, that would be really great to get back into a lot. I mean, some of it's just a matter of finding time to go through, and so I really like getting back into music that maybe I've listened to for a while, and you go through phases of things. One of the things I like, though, just having studied formally for a long time, I worked a lot in composition and notation. So whenever I hear music, I visualize, especially the drums being very rhythmic. I'll visualize the notation. So whenever like students show me a song that they're interested in, I hear it, and then I dictate that on our board so I can show them this is what it looks like. This is how what they're playing would appear as notation. So it's really kind of an interesting process. It's like another language. I always tell them that it's like we could be speaking two different languages, but if I showed you these notes on a board or on paper, you'd be able to understand it without me having to like verbally or physically describe it to you, which I think is really cool. And I just think it's fascinating how people hundreds of years ago, if not longer, were coming up with these like masterpieces, and they had no playback mechanism other than like the band members trying to play it. They're like writing on paper, trying to pull an idea that they've received internally, like in their head or however, and then just writing it on paper. And then they're like, "We'll see how this goes." And then you have 100 people all playing it together, and they're just like, "Wow, this is angelic," So that's an amazing process. We don't really have that same kind of effect now because music is such a different thing, but it's just amazing where things have come since then.
Alexander, next question for Daniel, please.
Everyone should check out is Johnny Greenwood's soundtracks that he's done. There Will Be Blood is an amazing movie, and I think that the soundtrack really like drives the movie well. But that's a band, Radiohead, who like I think Tom York must be an experiencer. I mean, he sings about being abducted like constantly. But I was gonna ask, you mentioned studying like drum, like African rhythm and stuff. Had you ever played in like drum circles where you felt some sort of meditative or like obviously you kind of go into a flow state when you're making music and you're playing music, but some people say that there's like like when you meditate with multiple people like CE5, that sort of concept is what tribes have been doing with drum circles and stuff, and even the didgeridoo like creates almost like a binaural beat type effect. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, that's actually really, really important process. And without getting too deep into that, I will say that I do love hand drums. I love drum circles. It's a different atmosphere. Most of the people going, it's great sounds and people can dance and all this stuff too. But one of the more, I think, mystical or deep into aspects to that is that there's something called entrainment. And when everyone's playing together, you might have a few people out of sync, out of beat, and eventually some of those things will cycle back up. And when everyone's kind of playing at a certain range, whether you think of that as the tempo, speed, or a certain frequency of hertz, that allows that frequency to be entrained within the brain and induces a trance-like state. And I think that's fascinating. Drum science on that level is really brilliant, and I definitely think that there's something to that. And I think that anyone can do this. It doesn't have to be in a group setting, but whether you're tapping along or you're just doing something faster or slower, it induces some type of meditative state. And a great example, I'll just use a quick one, is that if you pull out your hand and then put it on a surface, table, or whatever's hard enough to hear a tap. So you lay out all of your fingers, including your thumb, so all 5 are out. And Western music and most of the world, the pulses of 2 and 4 are like the main things, and everyone claps on that, right? Well, in other areas of the world, sometimes there are other ideas of what the pulse is. And it's not always 2 and 4. It's not always just an even number. Sometimes you can think of the beat in 5 and all of this stuff. But since you have 5 fingers, including 4 fingers and a thumb, if you lay your hand down and start with your pinky, or actually it doesn't really matter which one you start. If you go from pinky, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb, and just tap from all the way from one end of your hand to the other consistently. So not like pausing. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just tap.
Before we proceed, I just want to say that at the beginning of the space, SuperFreq received all the attention, and then when Daniel came, he was completely ignored. So right now he's seething in jealousy. But SuperFreq, I want to let you know that it's for the greater good. We must respect Daniel and allow him to shine his light upon everybody. So don't feel bad, SuperFreq. We still like you.
No, carry on. I love listening to Daniel. I love it.
Hey, I'm just here. If anyone else wants to jump in, feel free. I just think that this is kind of interesting part of discussion that doesn't normally happen. But yeah, just tap your fingers. It doesn't even have to be out loud. It can just be as a counting. They're mudras. If you ever see in Vedic Indian culture, they're holding different parts of their fingers. If they're meditating, those are mudras. Those are essentially like different ways to try to connect ideas or energy. So if you're doing that, whether you're touching your fingers or you're tapping on something, and you do it as a form of repetition, cycles, that can induce a meditative state. It doesn't have to be like an out of body experience or anything like too extreme. As long as you feel at ease and you can clear your mind, you can breathe. That's all meditation can be.
I believe Screen had his hand up. Screen, don't embarrass us, please. Ask a smart question.
Oh shit, man! You picked the wrong person for that. I want to know if y'all have seen Darren Brown. I'm pretty sure that's his name. He's like a mentalist or whatever. Like what you were talking about, like the people coming up with the same music kind of reminded me. He does this thing where, like basically he just takes like a conductor's wand and like starts pointing at an orchestra, and they all just play something random, and next thing you know, they're all playing like the same song in tune. They're like all feeling it out and vibing, and they just start like playing the same thing. It's pretty awesome. But he does a lot of like mental tricks that are pretty amazing.
If you guys ever want to hear the weirdest music you'll probably ever hear, look up a group called The Residents. You ever heard of The Residents, Daniel?
I'm not sure. I don't know. The name sounds kind of vaguely familiar, but if I heard their stuff, I might. But no, that's a good recommendation. I'll have to check it out. I like the weird stuff.
Yeah, they're faceless. They're an anonymous band, never show their face. They wear like these big eyeballs with top hats.
That's good.
The Residents? Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, The Residents. Really weird stuff.
I'm surprised nobody said Clint Mansell. That dude's a motherfucker. And so is Hans Zimmer. About the whole like composer thing anyway.
And Jerry Goldsmith, he conducted and composed those great Star Trek scores. Hey, Ocean, do you have your hand
I
up?
think Natalie was next, actually, but then she put her hand down.
Okay, I'll ask a question. Daniel, when you dictate a song, do you write it on the board in rhythm or notes or both? And then can you post something on Twitter?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so I guess a good example would be
Preferably a dick pic.
If we're focusing in on a drum part, then how drum notation works is not exactly the same as melodic notation. When people talk about rhythm or music theory, they often think about tonal theory, like different pitches, chords, things like that, and that's all important. And I do focus on that quite a bit um, in education and things. But when it comes to drum, specifically like drum set type stuff, you're not dealing with tonal changes so much as you are rhythmic changes. So on notation, like the scale, the staff, the music staff, where all the notes go, usually each line or space on the staff represents a different tone or pitch, right? For drum set, you're not really concerned so much with that as it is like what part of the drum set. So each space or line on drum set music represents a different part of the kit, like a drum, a cymbal, the bass drum, things like that. So there are a lot of compounded notes. I'll give you an example. I'll see if I can find something right here to take a picture of. But then, yeah, if you want to, I don't know, if you have a suggestion, I can send me a short part of the song or like a section that I can notate for you really quick, and I'll just put it on a picture or something.
Hey Ocean is ready to propose marriage to Daniel. Go ahead, Hey Ocean.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that like I think music is like a fundamental thing throughout like the universe. It's 10:46. But yes, so it is a fundamental thing throughout the universe. You know, you look at like different Bible stories, it's like God spoke the word, and then the word was let there be light. So it says that like the vibration like of his word brought the world to life. And then there's another verse, it's like the breath into the soil created man. So that's like another vibration. And then stories are passed down through song, right? Through like folk song and stuff. And you know, they said God like yelled out to man, and then there was changes. So I think like the relationship between like beliefs and then like the cause and effect of different the vibrations that happen in the world that we can control or see or be aware of, and then how we explain those, they all have so much to do with song. And you can convince people with song too, right? You write a really moving piece and it can change someone's opinion. So I think it's like a fundamental thing of, you know, being at least a human. And birds do it too, right? They got those freaky dances. But yeah, I love music. I love all music.
That's some interesting reference. I mean, they talk about all those different ideas of sound or things like that. They even talk about, what is it, the horns that took down the walls of Jericho. You know, you wouldn't typically think of people playing horns as being able to do something like that, but you know, there could be something to the idea of resonance, powerful resonance that can affect you know, large objects. So that's interesting that that's included.
Daniel, I have a question. There are many theories as to the origin of human life. Some claim that we were divinely created. Some claim that we naturally evolved in a Darwinian evolution like manner. Some claim that we were genetically engineered by a superior being, such as aliens, and put on this earth to continue our evolution. What are your thoughts upon this subject?
Yeah, really, really going for the big ones. All of those ideas are interesting. I don't know or claim to have any answers, but I do think like questioning those types of human origin stories are really important for us to understand, not just how we originated, but how other potential life can be found elsewhere. Because we now, you know, even in the minimal amount of time we've had in like the so-called modern world, we can do a lot with genetics. We have found out a lot about what we can do with biology and all of this stuff just in the last few years. So if we're given on a grand scale, like if we're told according to like our scientific models, millions of years, billions of years, um, things change. I think that if that is really what we're dealing with, we'll find out that there's all kinds of things that are happening out in the universe that cause life to happen. Now, when it comes to humans specifically, I get the impression, I think a lot of people who are into this stuff do as well, that we're not only not alone, but there's something about who we're not alone with that has something to do with those origins of humanity. And I think that that's a really fascinating thought that, you know, we know now that we are breeding, we've domesticated, we do all these different things with other animals, other species. And I think it's important to see that if we're able to do that here right now in this point in history, who's not to say that other extremely advanced intelligences out there aren't doing that at a much more efficient rate that we may not even be able to detect. And so I think that it's something that is a high probability. If again the universe is teeming with life, there's probably got to be some custodians out there, and that's something that I feel really strongly about. But I don't presume to know. I don't even say that I believe those things because I don't know. I mean, I think that's really important that we can maybe talk on this idea. But I'm not religious. I don't try to have faith based approaches to things. I try to be very much a realist and grounded in reality, but also open minded. So I mean, I consider myself a skeptic, but by saying that, I don't mean that I'm disregarding of people or their claims or anything. But it makes me curious about what we're dealing with. And so, yeah, whether we started out as single cell and just somehow um, abiogenesis happens somehow, I mean, that's amazing. I tend to think that any advanced form of agency or intelligence would be able to understand the system properties in which we exist within, enough so to be able to either have administrative controls of those properties, or they themselves are sort of admins and are just kind of monitoring the progress up until the point where we may be able to manipulate some of the system properties ourselves. And I think we're doing a little bit of that here and there. The more we learn about laws of nature and our own, avatars here, our own bodies, and what we're understanding through consciousness. So I think these are all fascinating. I think consciousness does play a big part into all of that. And I tend to kind of relate it more or less to this idea that I've thrown together. And I don't necessarily think it's original. I just think that it's something I have fun with, called mythos, which is mythical operating system, and that we each are that or have that. We all exist within that in different scales. And so, to some of us, we might see through our lens of perception in a world that's made by God and Jesus and the angels and all of that, and it's only 6,000 years old. And some people might think that, the Big Bang happened and all of this just came about in over billions of years, and suddenly here we are after evolving. And so everyone has a different way of trying to interpret reality, and I think that that's a really important thing to remember, is that sometimes we get into these like arguments about semantics and ideas. It's all an interpretation based upon what we're trying to find and describe within nature and in our own understanding. And so it's really fascinating. But yeah, I think those are really great questions, and I don't know that anyone really has the right answers. I think we all just have something we can try to contribute to a mosaic, in the sense of like where we've been this whole time, if there is long time, or if this is like young Earth. Like some people think that this has only been around for a few thousand years, and they'll find evidence to try to support those claims. And I think that we have to be careful not to fall into confirmation bias. And I try to be careful of that, at least. And so I'll shut up with that, just because I think that those are really deep. I mean, what do you think, MC? I mean, those are kind of the big questions in life, right?
Yes. Okay, I have a follow-up question for you then. Let's assume, okay, hypothetically, that we overtly communicate with aliens, not in this kind of subterfuge, hidden, behind the scenes government talk, but actually they reveal themselves fully and we engage in diplomatic relations and they tell us, we can tell you your real origin. Let's assume they say your real origin is that you originated as primitive apes, and at some point in the distant past, we manipulated your DNA. However, the good news is that your consciousness does survive after death and returns to the edge of the universe. Do you think the moral and ethical framework or foundation of our civilization would immediately crumble and a lot of people would panic because a lot of their doing good and following the rules is the basis of that is that God is watching? Or do you think we're mature enough as a species to still be able to maintain our civilization?
Oh man, I'll just mention quickly, because I know this could go on for a long time, and I think that's a brilliant question, brilliant line of questioning, because it could very well be the case that that's happened before, that in different cultures at different time periods, like maybe those beings have presented themselves and made those transmissions a little bit more direct than we think is kind of this weird overt thing. But I will say this, is that regardless of if that happens or not, and people believe it or not, I do think it would be important to make the most, I guess, some way to document or record those things that won't be perishable, that they won't just somehow diminish and be deleted or removed. And if we're able to, not because I think it's important that we see that to believe it, but to know that that took place, would probably be one of the most, if not the most significant historic moments of all of our existence. And again, whether it's true or not, if maybe they're lying, but if not, at least we know that that interaction took place. And the only reason I'll say this is because what mainly I think would need to take place is not a very happy answer. I think it has more to do with what's called Planck's principle. You guys know Max Planck. Sometimes people say Planck. He was sort of the founding father of quantum theory, and he has a lot of ideas attributed to him and named after him. But the Planck principle is such that in science, new ideas in science don't emerge until the old scientists die. And unfortunately, that kind of gets to the point to where new ideas, to have them persevere, either have to be, set up in a way that allows and has that framework, like you suggest, to be able to support those ideas, or we literally have to get to a point to where all the people who are in disagreement with, or who are unwilling and intolerant, to be able to at least accommodate being understanding about those things. Like, you don't have to believe it. You can just say, okay, like, this happened, or this is a part of our history, just like we see with monuments and things around the world. Sometimes they're not very good ideas as they're happening, but we can look back and learn from our history. So it might not
Yes.
be immediate, but it might be this thing where once all of the people who don't really get along with that, or understand it, or can't really grasp it, aren't around anymore, we're left with a new generation of people who either keep intact that legacy and know of it, or have to attempt to try to interpret it. And I think that's what we are there right now with a lot of these ancient mysteries. We're trying to look back at something and interpret a great deal of things that we've suddenly just forgotten about. And we're like, it's this splinter in our mind to think like, this was us. I mean, this is us. Our ancestors knew about this because they did it. And it makes us wonder, like, but why don't we know? And we just have to try to guess and try to piece together fragments of history and all of this, and figure it out. But I think that it's important that sometimes it comes down to when people are literally not around to provide contrast, so that we don't have anything that contends against something like that from happening. And that's Planck's principle.
That was a very polite way of saying when the baby boomers die, everything will be fixed. But seriously, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah are always going to be valuable books, and I believe they should always be studied and read, no matter what our origins are. Because if you think about it, civilization really took off when you had the synthesis of science and religion. Religion basically provided the social stability in which scientists could function, even though they kind of held them back, because they didn't actually promote science. They were against it. But nevertheless, you really needed both up to this point. And I think, as Daniel said very astutely, actually brilliantly, um, just because we learn something in the future and it expands our knowledge and understanding doesn't mean that everything that took place before necessarily should be wiped out or deleted. It should be incorporated into our history, and it's part of the fabric of who we are. So instead of proceeding with fear, trepidation, and doubt, we should proceed confidently with an open mind. And whatever the truth is, we should have the confidence that we can deal with it and we can come out the other side better than we were before. So that's just to summarize Daniel's very well formatted 5-paragraph essay. And I didn't put it as well as he did, but I just feel like he put across such a beautiful point. No one can top what we just did, Daniel. The next person who speaks can never dream of topping what we just did. Who's next?
Set the bar high.
I just scared everyone. SuperFreq? He's stunned.
No, I couldn't agree more. I was making pad thai noodles over here. I heard my name. No, I heard you.
Okay, that's an acceptable excuse, SuperFreq.
Yeah. No, I was applauding from the kitchen. You know I can't follow up with that.
I'm sorry. He always gives acceptable excuses. Thank you.
MC, I did like your scenario though of the idea that at some point in the near future, whenever that the progenitors of humanity come and talk about the truth, if you want to say that, or something, and try to shed knowledge and give us a perspective on what's all been happening, and how to make sense of it. Because not only do we see that idea, that sort of archetype of the transference of knowledge from one group to another throughout history, and most all like theology and mythology talk about that. But even in the most like literal sense of for people, in the biblical community, you have the idea of Moses going atop Mount Sinai and basically talking, communing with the divine and transcribing it upon tablets, and then he comes down and presents it as if like he just had this grand communion with another, the prime deity. I think that itself is like the closest example that most people would know of as this idea of like communing and really having an apocalyptic revelation. And I think that for us to have something of that magnitude, it would be biblical in the sense of like how people would perceive it. And I think that it's always difficult for us to get away, for humans to get outside of the deification challenge. But I do think that it's important that we see now that we have a bit more of a, I guess, modern understanding of things, that it's in our pop culture. You see these different shows and movies that all talk about this. And if you think back to that one movie Prometheus, which is like the prequel to the Alien series, the whole point is that the lady talks about the engineers, and then some people in the movie are like, that's all BS. That's like, it's just you're on this wild goose chase. It's just it's not real until they find one. And they're like, oh, and they can't handle it. They're just like, I didn't sign up for this. It just totally breaks their paradigm or in such a way like it just doesn't compute with them. They can't acknowledge that because it sits so far outside of their view. And the movie has all this other stuff going on. But that point itself is seen in so much of our own media that we're already like predisposed to those thoughts already. And I think that it's just one of the challenges we face when that does happen. I don't think we should be surprised if they're like, hey, so we come by ever so often and we have this conversation with you guys. You just don't seem to really get it. And you keep forgetting. So either we're not going to do this again or you got to change something, and I think that that's probably been the ongoing message, if there ever was such a thing actually happening. And I tend to think that history tells us that. I think that maybe if you chalk all of it up, but like, 1% of all of mythology up to delusion and mystical states inspired by whatever, if you say all of that's just nonsense except for maybe a small shred of it, then that at least leaves room to say that there's a possibility, I think, that we've never not only not been alone, but just had this sense of companionship with something else, whether people perceive that as ET or angelic or AI or whatever it is. I think that's really important for us to see that idea of like first contact is really just a cycle of contact that maybe we fall in and out of. And I have this statue here of Moses. I think it's like a Michelangelo or something. It's just a little replica, but to me it's interesting because I'm not religious, but it's a reminder of that instance when in the story, in the Old Testament, Moses goes up and he's given the information which he transcribes. And this statue actually shows Moses with horns, which is interesting because that's just kind of a side note to think that, a lot of times when figures were portrayed with horns in the ancient world, they were seen as divine or some kind of connection to higher and a higher order of things. And so I just like that, it's a good example about contact in whatever way, whether you think it's, it's singular or like group or collective of beings, or it's like a more or less omnipotent figure, like what we say is God. So I like that, what you proposed there, MC, because it's something that I think we need to ask ourselves. I think the high upper echelons of science need to be ready. And I think from what I hear, there are some groups who have had serious thought and discussion on that very topic.
That's fascinating. The concept that the aliens may have come several times. Like they're like, we showed up in Egypt, we told you guys. We showed up the Mayans and the Aztecs, we told you guys. And you're so dumb, you keep forgetting, and we have to keep back. We told Moses, we gave him all the rules, and then you guys keep turning it into some sort of story, and you don't understand it's from us. So they must be extremely frustrated, these extraterrestrials, and are like, we might as well just give up and then come back when they're ready. That could be a scenario. HGTP, you have your hand up, but please be aware that Daniel is extremely smart. His time is valuable. So
Okay.
proceed.
So, do you know about the different races of aliens, like Pleiadians and Anunnaki?
Daniel, the floor is yours. So,
I'll because in a second.
yeah, I mean, I'll just say that I've read into a lot of accounts of different types of entities, different types of beings from different places, and I think that's all fascinating. I at this stage, I guess, in my research, I try to have withheld judgment about the reality of those things because they all seem very anthropomorphic, meaning like they're kind of humanized. Like we turn these ideas into something very specific, and I don't doubt that there are some real possibilities out there. But yeah, I mean, I've read into all the different types of encounters people have, and what fascinates me is the morphology described. Like usually it's humanoid, usually it's some kind of anthropomorphic being. If it's not like a human with whatever kind of hair and uniform, it's other than that, it's like an animal type. Some people call them the reptilians, or they say the insect ones, all the different kinds of grays. So I mean, I think there's a lot.
Biological versus like interdimensional. Like you were saying, when we meet the entities for the first time, whether it be humanoid or aliens or AI, and maybe the extraterrestrials that we interact with like come in a lot of different forms, such as maybe the Pleiadians are just like an AI sort of strategy that they have with interacting with us, like through the computer, and then while like simultaneously like being a part of everyday society.
Yeah, I'll mention just quickly that those are some really interesting ideas, and I think that if we know now that this idea we have of deep space travel is difficult in accordance with our pretty like primitive level of space travel. If we're thinking about blasting off on rockets, like that's not really going to work. And we know that if we're having a hard time with that, that other groups out there potentially are going to have to either use something different or have another like way to get around, right? So we know now that we're trying to use, um, remote control. We're trying to find out how to get out to places like even close by Mars. And if this really, again, and I don't know because I mean, people are very they say it's all real or they say it's all fake, one way or another. I've never been out in space or on Mars that I can tell in my body or anything. So I don't know. I mean, it seems like we're trying to send remote drones and vehicles out there that we can control here from Earth. That seems like if we're presented with a challenge like that who's not to say that, they don't have the advances, but who's to say that we wouldn't find other groups out there doing the same thing, going around and using some kind of AI. And one of the reasons I say that isn't because like that's necessarily what I'm thinking, but a group I just mentioned earlier, there's a Royal Society for Science that had a meeting that took place in 2010, and the theme of one of their discussions was on extraterrestrial life and the implications upon society. And there was a historian for NASA there. His name was Stephen Dick, and he talked about how we shouldn't be surprised if we find ourselves living in a what he said was quote post biological universe, and that if we do ever encounter anyone else, they'll probably be immortal thinking machines. And that's what he said, and I think that's really interesting and kind of impressive for someone from NASA or in any like scientific arena to say that sort of thing. So, I mean, it's really interesting. Like you said, I do think that any sufficiently advanced group that knows our scope of reality can present itself to us in a way that makes sense to us. Like they could will that to happen based upon technology or their morphology or whatever it is. Maybe they would use avatars and present themselves in a way that is non-threatening to us. Although you see all these stories of like really scary accounts of aliens and stuff like that, it makes you wonder like, what's the deal? I mean, is there a play?
They are ginormous. They're ginormous.
Yeah. So I do wonder what the differences are between like a literal portrayal or if there's something used as an interface. And so that's one of the things I looked into quite a bit. More or less speculative because we don't really know, but I think it's important to see like what are our best methods to utilize, not only to detect intelligences, but to interface with them consistently, as in not just once and not just sort of a anecdotal thing, but to where we all know, like, hey, and maybe it's going to be through AI, maybe it's going to be through organic means, like us as people having an interaction. But let's say, for instance, if it was digital, or it was some sort of like mechanism that we came up with, integrating AI or whatever, that can scan things that, there are a lot of advances, and I'm not trying to advocate for like transhumanism or anything, but I mean, it's hard for us to doubt or at least deny the advances that have helped us understand like a lot of challenges we face that AI or just machine learning has helped us with, and found out new problems or like new solutions to math and all of this stuff. So anyway, if you look at that and you say, okay, if we continue along that path, it's possible that maybe in some way we might be able to lock in interfacing with one of these or some kind of intelligence, and be able to do so consistently and say, hey, we've made contact and we're able to ask questions, we're able to communicate, hear back, and all of this stuff. I think that would be, I mean, again, obviously, whether it happens or not, people are going to be skeptical and denying and disbelief. But let's say if that actually does happen and we find a consistent method to interact with something, whether it's like, in person, so to speak, or kind of like we are all here, we're all using avatars to communicate remotely. This is a really simple form of it, but here's not to say that we couldn't have, um, you know, as Dodie would say, even like join in the space and just start making weird alien noises at us.
By the way, Daniel, to that point, I have I think, intriguing theory about the not too distant future here on Earth. So, in the not too distant future, we will have three types of beings that are frankly superior to us. One, genetically engineered superhumans, and they are superior in every way. I mean, physically, mentally, emotionally, even morally and ethically. They're literally supermen and women. Number two, AI-powered robots that are connected to the entire world 24/7 and can
Who
program
told you about the
themselves.
Supermen and the Superwomen?
You did, of course.
Oh, I forgot.
Number three, extraterrestrial aliens. Now, we are fourth on the totem pole. We are dead last, and we are not even in their ballpark. I mean, wouldn't the extraterrestrials much rather communicate with the genetically engineered superhumans and the AI super robots and bypass us altogether? I don't want to put you on the spot. And then I have a follow-up to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are good, like, moral and ethical questions that sometimes we use as a way to think about how we communicate or contact or interact with known species here on Earth. So if we try to extrapolate that to an advanced group, we have to ask ourselves in what way, what modes of perception or interaction do they have that are any degree of separation to us, that we know like they can interact with us as individuals. And I think that's one of the challenges we face, is if they are individual avatars or beings or whatever it is like we are, that might make sense. But if they operate in a completely different level of understanding of reality, maybe they can't interact with us in a I mean, obviously people describe encounters like very personal encounters, so it makes us wonder, like, there does seem to be some kind of interplay between identifying individuals and then identifying like groups of people based upon qualities. Some would say like blood type or things like this, and I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that anyone really has the answers to that, but I do think it's important that we ask those questions, because it helps build a framework for, I think, not a matter of like if that ever happens, but maybe when we can anticipate those types of interactions. Would they go for the most apt, efficient ways of trying to convey communication or whatever it is with like you said, superhuman type people, or would they just go to anybody? They're going to show up at the barn and talk to, Uncle Joe or whatever, and just like, as if he is equal to everyone else. And maybe like philosophically that's true, spiritually or however you might say, but like, does he really have the effective ability to convey that to the rest of the world? Probably not. But if you go to, major centers of the world, or like a concentrated area of people who have the capability, then I think that it's going to be a worldwide thing. And I don't know how that'll happen, but I think it has to be done in a way that it's not just like a group of people, or like, one or a few people who are uh, not able to go anywhere with that story, whether it happened or not. That's the challenge, I think, is like, it's not just preaching to the choir. Like, people here are already interested in this type of subject or topic, but when it hits critical mass, then the rest of the world has to acknowledge it, and then we therefore have to raise the awareness, the standard of awareness in the rest of society, to say, okay, before we weren't too sure, we kind of entertained the idea, maybe we didn't at all, but now we can't deny the fact that there are others and they're trying to communicate with us. I think at that point we reach that level in society where you have to start seeing that die off of the old ways, and you have to embrace moving into the future with a new understanding, and that's not always easy to do.
Yes, very well said. Christian, I see you have your hand up. Would you like to ask Daniel a question?
Yeah, so I wanted to say that you said earlier, if humanity is ready to for contact or something along those lines. If I think you said something along the lines like, let's say that they made us. I don't remember specifically, but I do think that people that are Christian, not not every Christian, but I think a lot of them would have a problem with that. I have a lot of debates with my Christian buddies, and they seem
By the way,
very.
Christian, sorry to interrupt, but you have a lot of credibility because your name is Christian. Please proceed.
Yeah, thank you. But so they have a lot of. They take the Bible word for word, a lot of them, and there's a lot of Christians out there, like a lot. Like the UFO community is pretty small compared to Christianity. Although I think people have been a little bit open-minded with as time has gone by, and
No way. Christianity's a bigger group of people? That is news to me.
well, shit, whatever, dude. So anyway, what I wanted to know, here's what's on my mind, and I want to know. I think the phenomena has gone way, back to decades, like going back to, I don't know, thousands of years. But something happened in the 1940s that definitely piqued their interest. They seem to be here a lot more after that, and I want to know, why they care, or what happened. I think it was the nuclear bombs that we dropped, but I don't know why. Like I don't know
I know
why.
why.
Yeah, I want an opinion on that, because that's on my mind, especially now that we're kind of in another Cold War. And I think, or at least that we're in another Cold War, and I always think, man, like what would happen if we went nuclear? Would they stop it? Would they not? That's on my mind a lot. So please give me an opinion, guys.
It already went nuclear. They didn't stop it.
I'll just say quickly that I think that the nuclear idea is interesting, and I think there's some support for maybe why there seems to be more activity since that, in World War II and everything. But I was recently at an event with a panel that included a few people, like Robert Salas and Louis Elizondo. And Robert, if you guys don't know, Bob, he was at Malmstrom Air Force Base nuclear site in '67, where an object tampered with the nuclear components and controls, sending them like on high alert. And so that's a big deal. And he made the argument that it's because of our nuclear armaments that they're involved, and they want to see us not be there, in that place of wartime, and messing up everything here for not just ourselves but the planet. And that's a very good argument. It's very altruistic and everything. But Elizondo kind of snapped back with a pretty sobering comment that there are a number of nuclear detonations which weren't prevented or stopped or anything, and so it makes us wonder, are these just instances where we're kind of left to our own devices? People say that it's kind of like the kids found the matchbox and now we're just really having to try to figure out what to do. It makes it challenging when we know it's all very overt, and if whatever the phenomenon is, or different types of phenomena are out there or here, whatever, if they do have the ability to interfere and they have some kind of non-intervention, non-interference policy like Star Trek's Prime Directive, um, we came up with that idea, and I think that some people like Gene Roddenberry, they talk about how maybe he was seeded with information or whatever. But aside from any of that, I would just say that it's really important to see that um, it could very well be that a lot of the instances of interactions are totally conflated. And as much as I don't like saying that, I think that we have to acknowledge that um, that in some way, it very well could be that this idea of like all of these encounters and things happening throughout the 50s and 60s was kind of a mass craze. And in some way that there could be some genuine interactions, and in other ways that there could have been just a lot of false testimony. And again, I really don't like admitting to that, but I think we'd be naive not to. And I think that if there's not any strong evidence to suggest that there's anything here, then it makes us wonder like what the hell is really going on. But I think that there does seem to be indication of some other force, intelligence, whatever, at play. I just don't know that it's all one thing, and I think that it's really important to differentiate when we can, but we just have very little to go off of. So I'll just say that um, I think the nuclear component is interesting. I don't think that correlation is causation, but it does seem to have something, maybe tied into that. But it's also, I think, cycles of human civilization, human consciousness, reaching different stages of development might have something to do with that. I mean, there's any number of things I think that we can try to glean from looking at history, looking at advances in what we perceive as technology or human potential, and maybe why we're being primed for something greater, whereas before it's kind of like what's causing there to be. I mean, if the universe is teeming with life and 1% of all of the universal life is like, half of 1% is advanced um, intelligence, whether they're humanoid or whatever, who's to say like they wouldn't be able to immediately identify Earth and come here or interact here? And if that is the case, what's preventing them from doing so in a way that's not totally overt, but that we have like the cantina of Star Wars going on, where you're just walking around and there's just aliens everywhere, because that's kind of what the conventional model of the universe that we all subscribe to, according to mainstream science and all of that, suggests that the universe ought to be teeming with life. So Fermi's paradox makes us ask, where is everybody? Because obviously we don't have like a very open communication. I mean, people claim that is going on, that they do, and I'm very wary of those claims. And I hope that is happening in some weird way. But I also think that it's like, why is it that? And here's the other thing: is like and not to drag this on too much, but who of us haven't heard it yet? It's probably for the best. But if you ever got to hear the deposition by Corey Good about a few days back or something, where he's talking about his intellectual property and he made up this whole thing. I was extremely skeptical of him from the beginning, back in like 2014 when all of this started coming out. And in the deposition, he basically says that he made all of this up and that he's the only one who can communicate with these guides. So I think anyone who says that is should be, looked at, taken with a grain of salt, I guess, because I think that it makes me wonder, not that that's impossible, that people have a very specific line of communication or something, but it makes me wonder, again, what is the mechanism through which we are able to communicate or interact with consistently, not just like a one-time thing, whether you think of it as spirit guides or ET or God or whatever it is. Why is it so overt, and why is it not common knowledge? Why is it almost this religious component that we relegate to either having some kind of like psychological phenomena or otherwise? I just think it's kind of weird. As much as this seems to be going on, why we don't have a much more like evident basis through which we've acknowledged publicly. And I think it's just because we don't have a demonstration. on a mass scale that's repeatable, and that's the difficult part about all of this.
By
Hey,
the way,
thanks for sharing, Daniel.
oh, Logan, you're back from walking your dog?
I am a sweaty mess.
Did he take a poop?
Right on me. It's how I like it.
Good for him. By the way, Daniel, just thought, you don't have to do this, but if you change your name to UFO Jesus, you would get like 100,000 followers. Just a thought, no pressure. HDTP, I see you have your hand up.
Hey, hold on a second. I just want to, before we get to anybody, I just want to say I love every one of you, each and every one of you, and don't let anyone ever tell you you're crazy. I just wanted to steal some lines from Alien Girl. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the nuclear thing, right?
I love you more.
Oh, that's my mom right there. What MC?
I was just saying Screen is a little bit loony, but everyone else is completely sane.
Me? I am not sane. Ooh, not even close. All right. So like the nuclear thing, right? Why are they coming around like during the nuclear times? And I don't think they have any interest in stopping any bombs. We've set off like over 2,000 nukes since we started, right? All over the world. So out of 2,000 nukes, I mean, how many of those have they stopped exactly? I don't know why they would start now. Anyway, I was reading this document. There's this theory that nukes were kind of bleeding into other dimensions, and that's why they were kind of like, wait, hold up. Now, like, shit's being affected that, like, is beyond like you, right? We need to like put an end to this, or I don't know. There's some kind of like theory like that out there, and I always thought that was kind of bullshit. And Elizondo thinks so too. Oh, Elizondo thinks so too.
I think it makes sense.
Well, that's the thing. I kind of was reading this document like the other day, and by John Warner. I think it was John Warner document I was reading that he was saying that like kind of like saying that again that like it was bleeding into other dimensions, but he kind of like said it in a way that like it made sense. I can't remember the exact reasons. I'm looking at the document right now. I'm trying to see if I can find it, but
yeah, I wouldn't say like maybe necessarily bleeding into other dimensions as much as it's like speeding up time in that area.
Yeah, I've heard of some people who describe how it's like whenever that happens, some kind of release of energy is sent out into the rest of the universe, and it's like a beacon and easily detectable and catches a lot of the attention. Like, and that's kind of where that phrase like, "Oh, the kids found the matches," came in, and I think that's makes you wonder whether it's dimensional or whatever. Is there something that we're doing here, whether it's nuclear or otherwise, that is causing that to happen?
I found it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, here's that thing. So he's saying, this is coming from like I don't know if I want to keep saying his name, but So Mystic Robert Oppenheimer famously said after the first atomic bomb detonation, "Oh God, I have become death, the destroyer of worlds." This is a quote from the ancient Indian Vedic text. He said worlds, quotation marks, plural, because he knew an atomic blast cut through several dimensions of the local universe, thus killing people we cannot see in higher realms. That's why ET UFOs were seen more and more after World War II. Hey, no, not step on my keyboard. That's why ET UFOs were seen more and more after World War II. They were alarmed that the teenagers had discovered the power of the universe in crude form once again and were using it irresponsibly as a weapon. Disrupt the local space-time quantum entanglement of the universe, and your neighbors will come calling. So yeah, I guess that's what his opinion was.
I mean, what do you do if like you have like a competing technology or somebody that's getting close to where you think you're at? You go check them out, right?
Natalie, what's up?
That's a good
Heck
point.
yeah, let's go to Jamie first, and then I'll speak.
Yeah, thank you. I have I was just looking out the window and I was like, huh, interesting. That's moving around. It's like down and this way and that way and so maybe it's one of those new satellites. I don't know. But it's below Orion's belt, so if people can see that, it's like it's the belt and then the foot comes down, I guess. It's like if you made a flat thing where Orion was standing, it's back there like you walked over it a few steps back. So anyway, if that makes any sense. But and then there's also this other light that's over there. I'm in Arizona right now. And Yeah, there's another light that's moving around, but I know that there's a lot of satellites up there and new ones, and I know the geosynchronous satellites are supposed to only move north and south, but this thing is going to every which way, basically. So
Nice. I kind of want to share for the first time my UFO experience on January 1st, 2020. And
Wait, HGTP, sorry to interrupt, but before you proceed, I must depart. I have to pet a cat. But I just want to say it's a pleasure to be in the same space as Daniel. And you guys, the rest of you, I guess, were kind of okay. And then I would like to nominate Daniel as
Pet the
taking over.
monkey.
Oh, Lacey was.
Yeah, as a supreme ruler, I can't tolerate that MC. I'm sorry.
okay.
Daniel's great, but
So
we're the best, so
with
I'm gonna have
Chat
to step you down, buddy.
GPT, everybody was like, oh yeah, we're all going to have our own personal AIs. And spaceships have their own personal AI. So maybe we have some like ESP meditation AI connection to spaceships. And then talking about nuclear atomic blast and opening worlds, on January 1st, 2020, I was on a lake in a pool on like some very like frequency wavy land, and I was with my like boyfriend sugar daddy at the time, and his kids were over, and we were popping fireworks, a lot of fireworks, and the kids are like running around and lots of emotions going, they're just like going through a divorce and everything. And he took his kids over to the mom's house, and then we hung out, and we were just like professing our love to one another, sitting in chairs, just like on the water. And then we see this like red dot, and it appears in one stationary place for like a millisecond and then jumps like northeast or west or whatever, like 1 millisecond later. It's like boom, boom, like really fast. And then what the fuck was that? Seriously, what was that? And I think that maybe the AI intelligence, we could see it because we opened some holes, and then we saw it again. Same trajectory, but like over a little bit. Anyways, we go get something to eat, and as we're waiting at the bar for our food to go, he asked me about something that happened like 5 months earlier. He was like getting details out of me, and we broke up. And I can't help but think that like it was my AI intelligence, or like, I don't know, helping me out, sending me some waves or something. But yeah, that's all.
Hey, hold on a second. That is I'm gonna have to interrogate you for a second. So just bear with me. So you said you opened some holes. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, like the fireworks and the children and us. Lots of emotions combined with January 1st, 2020.
No, the holes specifically. What
The
hole?
holes. Well, like in the article. Okay. Like in the article, it's like a open worlds or whatever, but like holes in the fabric of the space-time.
Were you guys like casting spells or something, or like doing sex magic, or what were you doing?
Well, yeah, lots of sex magic involved for sure, and
No, I'm being
mushrooms,
serious.
but
Like,
not
were you
that
doing
night.
sex magic for real?
Mushrooms and weed and DMT and all of it for like 5 months, but nothing that night, a drink or two.
I don't buy it. Just kidding.
Sex magic works.
It does, dude. Like, sex magic is probably the most powerful. Like, I bet you were doing a lot of that. Like that'll like invoke some shit.
Yes,
And
it will.
Yeah, dude. That
there
lady
are
robbed those like
reports,
casinos in Vegas and got away with it because she was doing sex magic.
and there are reports of people meditating on a certain like crop circle, like a mandala, and then the next day that mandala appears. So I don't know. Sex magic.
Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Great album. But you didn't. So you just saw like a red light in the sky, kind of darting around. And then 5 months later, you broke up with your boyfriend. That's what
No,
that was
that
from.
night. It was that night. We went from professing our love to being in tears, not over. Like
Why? What happened to you specifically? Like, I mean, you don't have to say it if you didn't know if it's personal, but
it just levels the whole story up so much, and it just okay. He paid for a trip that my sister and I went on to Asheville, North Carolina, like at the beginning of our relationship. And then one night when I was there, he like went over to his ex's house, and then that night I didn't really talk to him anymore, and hung out with my friend who introduced me to DMT. For the first time I'd ever heard of it, I had never even heard of it. I meet DMT World off of Instagram. It's kind of like a huge account, and did it. So then on another trip to Asheville, we hang out with him again, and he has 2 other guys who were like crystal dealers. And I mean like crystal rocks, like big, huge amethyst and quartz and malachite, and like, oh my God, the whole house was just filled with these crystals. And then the DMT gets involved, and we did a puppet show in the bedroom. And he asked me about that night.
Sexy. That would be sexy.
yeah. Hold on. Am I missing something? Because I didn't. Where was that meant to explain it to me? Does anyone else feel lost?
I'm more lost than before I heard it. So.
Right. Okay. So yeah,
crystal dealer.
Yeah, I know you were you in Oklahoma, you said?
Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We hiked in the waterfalls. I mean, my sister and I, we had our 2 dogs with us. We were hiking through it's like a rainforest there in the mountains, beautiful. And there was a downpour. We could just like drink straight out of the spring. And we kept running through like stinging nettles and calling them nettle fucks and stuff. It was an amazing hiking trip.
Now back to the puppet show. Were you actually doing a puppet show with strings, or are you talking like horizontal monkey puppet show?
Or sock puppets?
All of it. All of it.
Okay, thank you.
But like it was this party trick of like shining a phone flashlight and like moving it like a strobe light and doing hand puppets.
Like the Eiffel Tower?
Affirmative. Yeah.
Okay.
So
very good.
So back to I like your line of questioning a lot more, by the way.
You gotta use your imagination, guys. You know.
All right, so how did this lead to the the whole
Daniel.
thing? That didn't really explain anything besides you like got high with some crystals and like banged like a bunch of dudes. I don't get the part where like
kept it a secret for 5 months until that night after we saw the UFOs. And it was like before we saw the UFOs, it was all like lovey-dovey, like we're gonna be together forever, like for sure. And then he asked me about it, like after we saw the UFOs. It was like the whole frequency changed. Like, I don't know. Maybe
yeah, but how is that like?
me.
How is that like his problem though? Like you were the one that like you guys weren't together, or you were together at the time?
It was in between.
Right.
But Daniel has his hand up.
Technicalities. He wasn't in on the spit roast. He got pissed. Now you're single. Got it.
Yeah, I'd be right there with him. By the way, I'd be like, "Fucking hey, bro."
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say that I think it's interesting to hear sort of the journey leading up to that. I do think that there's something about how if we get into certain environments, if we're surrounded by certain things, that the energy or frequency or whatever it is of those things, whatever component it is that affects our reality, it's really interesting because you described a lot of like nature things, the stones. You described obviously like all the different substances, especially DMT. I think if you elevate your your coherence, the communication between your heart and mind, more and more by these experiences that you get put into a state that you're more susceptible, I think, to interacting with um, some people call it like the ultra consciousness, your higher self, whatever it is. So one of the curious things about what you described is that it wasn't just that you saw it. You said you both saw the red light, right? So it wasn't like a singular thing. It's something you both experienced, and that was a catalyst for
twice.
Maybe not a catalyst, but it was like a pivotal turning point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Both
Is
saw
that
it
Daniel?
move 2 times twice. It was very, very bizarre. We racked our minds of what it could possibly be. I mean, we went through everything. So it
Not a
jumped.
drone? What could it, like, how big was it? Do you know?
It was like a pinpoint laser red light. And it went like, and then it was gone. What was that? And then it
Do you
went.
think it was actually just a laser from the ground, like pointing up at the clouds?
I don't think so. It wasn't cloud. I don't think so. But maybe. But we were on a lake. There wasn't really anybody.
I wouldn't have told him, Adley. Just between you and I. Carry on.
No,
Yeah, that was a bit. Yeah.
I think I needed out. I think the aliens made me tell them.
If I had a sugar daddy, yeah, I wouldn't have mentioned it.
Uh-oh.
Maybe you dodged a bullet with that one. I do want to welcome Dexter back up to the room. Sorry you didn't get a chance to get your words in last time, but welcome back.
Hey guys, good night.
Good night.
Wherever you are, good evening, good night, or good morning.
Good night,
Yeah, in case I don't see you tomorrow, I love you.
We all love you.
Yes. Likewise.
But I really love you.
So we're talking about I see the title here. Mr. Rogers is not here, but SuperFreq is so and so is Daniel. So good night to you all.
Good night.
Hi Lacey, how are you? Is that Lacey? Lacey?
Yes.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing good now that I've decided to put off my college assignments until tomorrow.
Yeah, put that homework off.
You know what? I need to. I know. I need to. I know. I know.
Yeah, we'll
You'll
do
got a
that
few more
later.
days.
But yes. It's gonna get done. It always gets done. It's going to get done. It's going to get did.
What do you study?
Fantastic.
I am taking BA. I'm doing a BA course, business administration.
Oh, that's a fun course.
It's not all what it's cut out to be, but you know what is, right? So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
So that's a class for something else you're studying, or what do you like to study?
Business administration is what I am studying right now. And I think the only reason why I am taking the course is because I would like to I I want to graduate with this diploma so that I have something in my hands to say like a like a qualification, quote unquote a qualification, so that kind of makes it easier for me to present it, because I do want to I would like to um I would like to start with producing my own skincare line. But
That's
mostly
hot.
from I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this thing where it's. I would like to do it organically, not where it's commercialized. I just want to do something from home, but with a with a business administration diploma, to say that yes, I took the course. Yes, I understand that there are steps to be followed. I also want to I would also like to foresee that I would like to make organic candles, skincare products, hair treatments, sort of like a line, right? Like a bundle that I would like to put together to
Right.
sell independently. That's what I would like to do.
Well, Dexter, that's great to hear, and you don't have to put that certification in quotes because that's what it is. And if not anything else, you can just see it as a reminder of your dedication, to seeing something through.
Well, you know what, Daniel? This is exactly why. That's the main purpose of if anything else, if nothing else, this is why. It doesn't it's not to say, oh well, because I have this little piece of paper, it means that it's just something there to remind me that this is why I would like to do what I would like to do. That's all it is. Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
No,
And
I totally understand.
no, it's great. Appreciate you sharing that. Hope your courses go well for the end of the year. Logan, just a heads up. Looks like we've got a.
There's my buddy. Sorry.
Heads up, what?
We
Speaking
got a
out loud.
Coach Fred.
Can somebody change that header real quick?
2.
Oh, I can't see anything because at some point like long ago it froze. Like MC is still co-hosting as far as I can tell. So I don't really know what you're talking about.
I have to go get my nails done tomorrow. I want to.
Are
Code
you guys
code red.
not?
Code red.
Code
You guys,
red.
are you guys not able to see my hand?
Oh, hey Ray, I see you down there.
Oh, hey Ray.
Okay, my
I
hand
don't
has been up for a while, so I figured like y'all can't see me. But before I forget, because I keep forgetting, Daniel, for you again, I posted 2 songs in the comments that might be fun for you to drum to. I mean, the moment may have passed, but just
Yeah,
just there.
I'll take a look. Let me see. I don't know. It was loaded kind of differently for Logan, and I think it was for me too.
Hello, Mr. Fred.
Hello, Lacey.
How are you today?
I'm doing all right. I'm good. What about yourself?
Excellent. Excellent. We've been waiting for you.
I don't, I don't know how to respond to that.
I knew you wouldn't.
Hello, Miss Cleo. Good to see you. Ahem.
When we say
Call me
Miss,
now.
Hi, Mr.
when we
Rogers.
say Miss Cleo, are we talking about me?
Cleo, can you look ahead in my future and tell me what is my neighborhood going to be like?
Wait, are we talking about me, Dexter?
I'm
Yes, you are
talking to you,
officially.
yes.
Oh man, guys. Oh hell no.
Okay, I'll stop. I realize that's,
Oh,
you made me think of something, Dexter. You made me
hold on.
think, and I
I
want
just
to
want to say something.
apologize.
I want to say something though. This is not. It's not. I I don't know. I don't do the whole. I don't know who does. Maybe there's somebody out there that does, right? But I just won't. I don't prescribe to telling you what your community will look like. You don't have a community. We have us. There's no such thing. Uh, y- I won't describe to. I won't prescribe. You don't have a community. You
If
have
you can
us.
prescribe me, I'd be grateful because there's a shortage right now.
Yeah,
We
I'll be
don't
second.
have. There's no. Oh, I like that humor. I do. I appreciate that because you know what? I need it. Here's my thing. If you were to walk a mile here's my thing. It could go for anybody. If you could put your foot into anybody's shoes and walk a block within their shoes, you would be surprised. You wouldn't be taking this lightly. You don't know what I go through, and I don't know what you go through.
I
And
don't. And that's why I
no,
wanted to
and listen,
apologize
I'm an
to you.
empathic. I am empathic, and unfortunately, I am a medium. So and I that's just the way it is.
A
I
medium
don't.
in what size?
I like you, Logan. This is why I've always liked you. I've always
You
liked
said
you.
you didn't like him
Logan,
before.
we may not see eye to eye, but when spirit really does want to come through, as they did the other night, listen, I'm telling you, I may not, I'm not here to see eye to eye, but I am very genuine in what I need to say. And so it's much like anybody else. My opinion is not all be all end all, but the message I want to get across is this: we are one. We are our community. It doesn't matter where you are across the border. Fuck a border. We don't have borders. They put those borders there. Borders are nothing. Borders. The border is nothing more than the wall that they tried to put
A
up.
border of the hoarders.
Borders.
I think that's a. Is that still open?
I'd like to apologize to you, Miss Cleo. I'm sorry. I did not mean that. I did not mean that. I swear to God, I did not mean that.
Well, whether you meant it or
Fuck.
not, that's one of
No, I
those
Whoops.
didn't,
things.
though. I
Whoops.
really didn't.
Thank y'all for your presence.
I wanted to say, okay. Mmm, that's delicious.
Okay.
I wanted to say that I am sorry
Okay.
because this is not Logan, this is Fred. Because I put myself earlier when um about 30 minutes ago, I was laying on the couch in my little house here in my neighborhood. And I don't know if you watched me when you were a kid, but you remember my house, probably. And I was laying on the couch and I realized this. I realized that, in a sense, Twitter Spaces made me lose my shit. And I'll explain why. I originally came onto the Twitter Spaces about 4 months ago, but I was not a Mr. Rogers. I was just a regular man. And I went onto a space and I was overwhelmed because I had to experience many experiences. And to the point where I couldn't go anywhere without seeing my little orb friends. This is a true story. And I went on to a space, my very first space, no social media for like 3 years. I mean, I'm talking, I was deep in the experiencer like hole of holy shit. And I go onto this space and it was about experiences. And you were allowed to share an experience, you put your hand up, and it came time for me to talk. And the host of the space, I forget his name, but it rhymed with like Muka Mabra or something. In the middle of my story, I was cut off and I was like mocked and laughed at and basically discarded. Now, I have not never discarded you. I think you're brilliant. But I wanted to apologize because I started thinking to myself earlier on the couch. I said, well, wait a minute. I come in these spaces to do comedy for a little relief because experiencers are very overwhelmed and it's a crazy world. But I said, well, wait a minute. I said, I am a hypocrite if I'm going into a space, even though you sound like Miss Cleo, it's still you are not Miss Cleo. You are Dexter.
That's right.
And for me to make a joke like that, even though you sound like her, it's still not, it could hurt your feelings and it could make you upset. And I don't want to do that because by doing that, I'm literally becoming the Kukakabra or whatever it was that cut me off on my first space that I went on. And I don't want to be a hypocrite, so I apologize.
It's okay, Logan.
I'm not Logan, I'm Fred.
Yeah. So Fred is the one you don't see eye to eye with, not me.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's a very generous offer. I want to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the room, Mr. Rogers. Just to clarify, Mr. Rogers, I'll always be your neighbor. Wondering what those trains are up to. How's that going?
The trains are good, the trolley. But no, it was a true story I just told, and it makes sense. It's why. Who am I? Am I going to be the same thing that hurt my feelings? Because when that happened to me in my first space I went on, it was disheartening.
Well,
It really.
I'm sorry about that.
Yes, and so for me to come in here and ha 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 blah blah Miss Cleo, it's not really what am I don't need to make a laugh. I could go. I could.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah. Hello.
Sorry, you guys are good.
To be honest, it's Twitter Spaces, and we all call each other names that are not our real names
Yeah, I
and
figure. But what is
nicknames and
this
stuff.
Miss Cleo thing? Because it only started yesterday, and I just started. Oh, sorry. Did I just do that again? Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If I hear "I'm sorry" one more time, I am gonna mute myself.
I did not mean that, Logan.
Cleo, you don't have to be sorry. Oh shit.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rogers.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I am
Sorry, you're
sorry
gonna cut
too.
it.
You can call me Natural Hologram, HGTP.
Sorry, Scream.
Um,
I really wish I knew what was going on. I have no idea.
I do like your hair, Dexter. I do.
I'm not
oh, my hair
sorry.
doesn't look
I
like
wanted
that
to
right
say,
now,
Fred
Mr.
Rogers, your self awareness is amazing, and not everybody can see how their actions could harm somebody. And it's just good on you to see that. And then also, I think it's not about what you do necessarily, but what you do after. So if you fuck up, it's about what you do after. And so your reflection and then sharing that is kind of like the what you do after part. Like everyone makes mistakes and does things that is silly. But how you try to rectify that is what shows character. So yeah, I love y'all.
Rectify.
Man,
Can I
that
say
is like
something?
the theme of the week. I swear.
Can I say something though? So, can I say this? Is here's my thing. I just want to say something. If I'm
If
here,
only if I want to say something first though, if you'll let me. I just wanted to say this. So to walk a mile in my shoes, two hands in a bushel is worth two in the bush, and you're never gonna know how far you can go until you take that first step.
okay. Well,
Can I just say, like, I've been trying to talk all night. I feel like every time I talk, Dexter, you have to just say something.
yeah,
I'm a
because I
little
just wanted to finish
frustrated.
off what I was saying. Because Logan
I
just
know,
started.
of course, by all
Yes.
means, we're all here to listen to
Yeah, I
you.
just wanted because I feel like I'm not here to like because Logan, I always feel like there's an issue here because you want me to coddle everybody's feelings, and before you even mute me again, just let me say something. If you don't want me here, say it. I'm not because when I see
Wait, it's
science.
not like that. But when Ray steps in,
No,
she
no, no,
feels
no,
like
no,
she
no, no,
needs
no.
to
No, I know what
tell
it's
you to
like.
be quiet,
But when I
please.
see science and space and paranormal, well, quote unquote, I'm not here to like you just I
Dexter,
need
we have been listening to you for like 3 days straight. We want you here, but you gotta allow other people to speak. You really do.
no, I that's the
More
thing.
than one
Everybody has
people.
their chance,
Dexter, more
and
than one
I
people are telling you this, though.
you but
You
here's
gotta
my thing
listen.
though. Can I
No,
just
no,
finish?
no. Oh my gosh. Of course,
Thanks.
you're going to anyway.
Yes, I am. That's right, Logan.
Dexter, we must let go. We must let go of internal ego. I
Yeah,
want to
but
hear
that's
what
not what
Ray
we're
has to
doing here,
say.
and this is why
Yeah,
I'm
y'all are
saying
Ray,
lucky I'm not a host.
I'd
there's
like to
no
hear you,
internal
Ray.
ego. I'm just like, whenever I
And
speak
Ray
on
left.
Sorry, I switched devices, so like I said, I couldn't see anybody before, but now I can. So sorry to take so long.
Logan, Mike.
Now you sound like you're in a bathroom.
Yeah, I just dropped the load.
Working on.
And it is bad practice to have two voices going at the same time. Like,
I kind of want to ask Dexter, where is Dexter from? I hear the accent. Does anyone know? I know he's
Where's
not up
Ray?
here.
Where'd Ray go?
I see Ray is back. Dexter's Canadian, and yeah, we talked for like 3 hours the other day, and I heard Dexter's story, and I love hearing the story, and I understand the struggle of trying to balance the room and get everybody heard. And it's true, if one person is talking more than the rest, then people will leave because they're not feeling heard, right? So it's really a fine balance of trying to make sure everyone gets heard, and some people maybe need to set a timer for themselves. Or be like, I'm going to stick to these 3 points. It can be difficult when you're trying to navigate conversation with people that are excited and love sharing, right? So it's
I
not
literally
anything
left the
personal.
last space right at the end when we switched to Logan's and Dexter was talking. I went and I spent a whole hour rolling my dreadlocks. I come back in this space and and Dexter's still talking. I love Dexter, but we all need to talk. Where's Ray? I feel sad.
Mr. Rogers, you grew dreadlocks.
Calm down, my neighbor.
It's funny but true. It's very true.
Yeah, my neighbor wanted to borrow some sugar. Her husband didn't like that.
Dexter has a really cool story, though. I think Dexter's just a little passionate.
Well, I have no idea what happened the last few days.
So is Rex.
I think another part of the issue is it always comes down to like, I'm not here to play, and this is what we got to do. And it's like, I know that resonates well with people that are wanting action, but a lot of people are here just communicating in a more relaxed setting. So it's like, if you need to, I don't like Dexter, you should start your own space, and then people that are into that can do that, right? Because there should be space for everyone. So it's like, don't rely on people if they're not wanting to talk about what you want to talk about. Sometimes I'll start my own space because I don't want to be in a room with 300 people, right? So there's always that too.
Well, that's what I was saying is that if we let our ego go, and what I mean by that is I, I think a lot of us are very passionate. And I mean, Dexter, I want to let you know you got to talk more than I ever got allowed to talk when I joined spaces. Holy crap, man. I got like 30 seconds. But what I'm saying is that I came to a point this year where I realized that I let go of my ego. I don't know everything. I don't even know a little bit of everything. And that's why I come here, because I love to hear other people share, because I'm learning from them.
Yeah, I love when other people spark me to think about something.
Ray, you came back.
Right on.
Hi, yeah, I just we all know I struggle to be talked over, but I also struggle when I find myself having to talk over somebody else who's talking over me. That gets me, I start to become like escalated myself and get overstimulated, and then I'm more likely to maybe say something that I might later regret, right? So that's why I just kind of dropped down, because I certainly wanted to avoid adding fuel, right? So I think we're all here for connection, we're all here for answers, and there needs to be balance. And to have balance, we need to have self-awareness. And if you have a room of people telling you that, or really encouraging you to take a step back and give others space, um, that might be a time to maybe look inward and develop some skills, like what I think Ocean was saying before, like maybe some rules for yourself, some boundaries, so that you can participate in this space and it can continue to be productive. And I understand we're all here listening to you. You're talking for minutes and minutes. And I say this with love. For me, I'm not listening because I want to. I'm listening because I feel like I have to. I almost feel bullied into listening and not being able to speak, because you have a very, strong personality. And I think that's a tremendous strength when used properly. But I don't feel that in this space. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
And also, Dexter's not the only one. Like, we know lots of people that have entered the space and been excited and like learned to communicate in a way that we can all communicate well. Like, we all know Andrew and how much Andrew loves to talk, and so he's aware of it. And if he's really good now, like, and we're all improving. I'm not perfect either, right? When I came in, I tried to be like, "Okay, you're next, you're next, you're next," and I didn't really pay attention to the flow of the room, and then people didn't feel heard. So I mean, like, we're all learning, right? So I don't want him to
100%.
feel like bullied on either, right? We're just trying to share. And
No, absolutely. And I think that's part of why, the spaces with this group of people really tends to work, because I think we all kind of check each other and we check ourselves. And we also really are open to helping newcomers learn kind of, the ins and outs and how to really get the most out of these spaces and to contribute the most that they can. So, that's part of, being, I think it's kind of like an unspoken rule, right? An agreement that we all have, is just mutual respect and really openness to learning. When we're being told something over and over again, let's maybe put our hands down and take a seat and kind of look inward.
Yeah, that's kind of on us too, right? Like if we're hosting, I know it's like it's tough, right? Because you want to be respectful towards everybody, you want to hear what they have to say, but there comes this point, right, where you get kind of caught up where you're trying to be nice to the person and be respectful and hear what they have to say, but also like you like want to get them moved on for the sake of the room. So